welcome to another.
We haven't heard Leia's theme yet.
You get laid. Yeah, it's happening now. Somebody discovered, like, oh shit, it's still going. About 5 minutes into the show. There's fading away.
Yeah, John
there
Williams.
they go.
John Williams just bought another car.
He was like, once they went past the 2-minute mark, I made it a ridiculous car. I got a Rolls. I was never going to do that.
Yeah.
Thanks to the good
Tesla
folks at Sirius
SUV.
XM. Here, let me just apologize in advance. Opie and Jimmy are insanely good at this and do it every damn day. Me and Andy do this once a week, maybe. So it's not going to be nearly as fun.
I thought you were going to say professional, but
that
okay.
too. But and we don't have any guests. Nobody's going to come in here and whip them out or anything like that. It's going to be whip out anything, unless Andy whips out his intellect and wit.
Yes,
whip it out, Andy. But here's what I want to start the show with. I don't know if do we have will people like call in and shit, or can you read the internet or whatever? I guess I could look at Twitter. We're ill prepared, but we're going to make it work, folks. Don't worry.
Oh, I'm ready.
This is the waking thought that I had this morning. Ready?
Yeah.
You know The Exorcist?
Yes.
That movie? Everyone's seen the movie. Mm-hmm. Not personally. I'm like, The Exorcist? Can you get me his autograph?
Can I borrow his hat?
The Exorcist movie. At one point, like deep into the movie, like the good parts of the movie. The beginning's a little bit boring. But, it's a good setup. Listen to me. The guy made fucking Tusk. I'm like, Exorcist boring. No, it's not. It's amazing. Mm-hmm. But the opening stuff, before Satan shows up, the star of the show.
Right.
There's a lot of setup and stuff. So I'm talking about when we're in the thick of it, motherfucker. When Father Karras is like confronting Reagan, is that her name?
Reagan.
And she's, imbued with the fucking devils, or many devils all over her.
Pea soup flying everywhere.
Face, naked, chest, she's demonized. So at one point, remember, like she goes, or he goes, the demon in Reagan goes, hey, Karras, your mother's in here with us.
Uh-huh.
Would you like to talk to her? And then he looks at her, he starts hearing like a woman speaking. Oh, damn me. Yeah. Do it.
Oh, damn me.
Oh my God, it's creepy. I got goosebumps. And it's like, doesn't she have an old lady's face on one point? She's got like a straight jacket. Well, she's wearing
they just got to a shot of it. It's wide. Everything's cleaned up. It's her. There's nothing on the bed but this old lady in her
straight jacket
nightgown.
Where is she in the straight jacket? Because the kid's in the straight jacket by that point, isn't she?
Yeah.
Maybe I put the straight jacket on her in my head. I'm trying to make it more metal. Like, what's more metal than that?
An old lady in a straight jacket. Yeah.
And a jack-o'-lantern. But,
louts on it.
So she sits there going, Damien, she's talking to him and he's like, no! And he freaks the fuck out. Do you think that she was really in hell, or is the devil just being the devil?
The devil's being the devil.
Come on,
what is,
a more metal answer is, of course she's in hell. Man, minute. Oh, we go to hell. Man, minute. All moms go to hell. I hope not. That's the sequel to All Dogs Go to Heaven. All moms go to hell. My mom's been in the hospital. Bad
that's
segue.
A terrible segue.
I think that's why I had the dream.
I was like, speaking of moms, yours is in the...
I know, at least I did it. You were tempted too. You're like, should I do that? Is that good radio? And I did it myself. Mom was in the hospital last week. I put it up on my Instagram account, that Kevin Smith, my Facebook page and stuff. And then she got out of the hospital. And then I took her to the Ocean County Mall where my cousin works at Hot Topic.
Mm-hmm.
She's assistant manager.
Nice.
I was fucking impressed by that. She's like 21. You know what I was at 21? A jerk off. She's an assistant manager. And a year later, I'd be the clerk's jerk off. But at 21, just flat out jerk off.
That's just branding. Yeah. You're still a jerk off.
That's true. I've never left my brand behind. But she's managing the fucking store, or assistant managing, whatever. Regardless, you're in charge.
Right. That means she's really doing the work.
No doubt. There you go. Well complimented. So we're in the store, and I wound up doing a Facebook Live because she let me work behind the register. I hadn't done that in a long time, so that was fun. But why chiefly I was there was to get my mom some shirts. She was out of the fucking hospital, just got out of the hospital and stuff. Took a shower, get all the hospital off her, and she was free. We sprung her. So it's like, let's celebrate, man. And, normally.
A straight jacket.
Normally, yeah, totally. I'm like, Mom, remember that scene? Man, minute. Ma, do you think that lady went to hell? She's like, what are you talking about, Tiger? She'd have an answer. My mom would have the answer. She'd say the same thing. She's like, no, the devil was lying. But she's so Catholic, she has to say that. And she's a mom. So, of course, she's just like, no way, though. No moms go to hell. That's my mom's movie. So, I took her to Hot Topic and I bought her like fucking kitty teen t-shirts, not sized. Like, here, Ma, wear this baby doll. You're 70. Make it work.
My skin just crawled for a second there.
Hey, why? My mom's pretty hot, dude, for 70.
Okay, fine. Okay.
She's a welcoming woman. So I got her some young shirts, man. One was very red and in the Netflix writing said, "And chill." And she was like, "What's that mean?" I was like, "You'll find out. Wear it out in public." And I got her an Alan Rickman Snape shirt, says "always" on it. And I bought her a few others. One had a cat on it. My mom loves cat shirts.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but like not the kind that you know, not like, it's hysterical. Hey, I hate Mondays too. Way to go, Garfield. Like, not that kind of cat shirt. Or act like Bill the Cat. Mm-hmm. Just, fucking random kittens.
Sort of like a ball of twine. Kind of van art size, like airbrush looking cat.
Very much so.
Because no mom's going to hell with that chest protector on.
Could you imagine? You get to hell, the gates of hell, like the Lord's like, you weren't good enough as a mother, and they send you the gates of hell. But you're wearing that fucking sweatshirt. And what's the opposite of St. Peter?
Demon Peter.
Demon Peter, yeah. Fucking Demon Peter. He's like, how's old St. Peter doing? Fucking jerk off. We were the best of buds in school. And then he went.
Pete and Pete, they called us.
Yeah.
Pete and repeat.
Now he's a fucking saint and I'm down here doing this shit. And now they want me to turn away a mom in a kitten sweater? Well, fuck that.
Your mom just says, hang in there, baby. Friday's coming.
And my mom then exists in a limbo between two worlds. Or would heaven take her back in this instance?
I think with the shirt, they'd take her back.
Take her back. She's like, I was never there, Tiger. I'm like, oh yeah, good point. Boy, now I really feel the need to talk to her because she went back into the hospital.
Oh no, what happened? What happened?
Same thing that put her in the hospital the day, 2-3 days before that.
Okay.
Just being 70, essentially. Mm-hmm. And she doesn't, rest right. Like, she won't sleep, dude. She's always like ready to go. She's a goer. Like she was when she was young. That sounds dirtier than I meant it. In England, they're like, she's a goer, eh? Mother likes sex. Of course she did. That's how I'm here. I don't know if she liked it, but she added it at least. And she seemed to like my dad, so I bet she did. I did ask her if she liked sex with Dad, and she said, yeah. It was kind of unconvincing.
She just punched you in the face.
Yeah, you piece of shit. Just like fucking Demon Peter. She's got a mouth on her. So, she's back in the hospital. But I texted her this morning and be like, you all right? But it was early when I texted her. I talked to her yesterday as well. But that's like one of those things where you can't fight City Hall, man. Like, it's, what can I do? And when I'm in the hospital, I say, what can I do? And they're like, nothing. Like, just, fucking give her love and make her sleep, bitch.
Yeah.
Can you do that? I'm like, no, she's my mother. I can't tell her.
So that was obviously an orderly because no doctor would call you bitch.
Yeah. I was talking to a janitor. I was like, what should I do? I don't know, bitch. Go ask the doctor. I'm like, I feel a little intimidated by the doctor, but I can relate to. It's like, why? Because I too pushed a broom at one point. I used to have to fucking sweep up and mop up Quick Stop, man. So I have more in common with the janitor than the doctor. I say that proudly. Most people probably wouldn't, but I like that.
I know. You kind of enjoyed that work too.
I did.
I met Mrs. Topper. She told me you were a good worker.
She was like, oh, he was a good boy. I tell you. She said that all the time. She's so awesome. I believe the Toppers still own Quick Stop. I think they still do. And I think they own that whole block of stores now.
Why let go that cash cow?
I know, right? They don't open the RST video. And I asked him so many times, I was like, let me take it over and I'll just, open, there's no such video stores. It's tough to pull off. You can pull it off in a big city at this point or something like that. But, with a hipster culture, we're like, I like renting these archaic discs of videos, man. But I don't know where that accent came from.
Suddenly your beard took on a whole new meaning. Hipster Kevin.
But, I guess it wouldn't work. You could do it. I mean, if my shit was a little more popular, I've made some movies for those listening going, who the fuck are you? I'm the fat guy who made those movies once. That's my mom.
Everyone knows Kevin Smith.
She's like, my son. He's the fat boy that made those movies once. I'm like, just like Kevin Smith. Although I get oftentimes confused with Kevin James. I have a lot of people go, Kevin James, and they know my work. They don't think I'm the king of Queens.
Right.
But, they're like, it can't possibly be Smith. Who the fuck would be fucking have a name like Smith unless you're Will Smith? So they just assume, and again, like, Kevin James is heavy, I'm heavy. we both try to be funny. I'm sure a bunch of people out there are like, he's funny, you're not. He's the fucking St. Pete, you're Demon Pete.
He's the king of queens, you're the queen of kings.
Kind of works. Anyway, I made movies once. Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy. I still make movies. I have one coming out. Yoga Hosers. Listen to me. I'm talking about I'm done.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, Yoga Hosers coming out. It's in theaters tomorrow for this Fathom Events thing where they play an intro before the movie. It's like a half-hour intro where I talk to you for a half an hour before the movie begins. Sounds like hell, but it'll make the movie make a lot more sense, to be honest with you. And then September 2nd it comes out.
Imagine if Stanley Kubrick did that for 2001.
I would have appreciated that, man. I was like, what does a monolith mean? He's like, that's a good question. He was from New Jersey. I mean, everyone associates him with Everyone associates him with England because that's where he made those movies and lived and stayed and stuff. But he's originally from New Jersey.
Yeah. Oh, I stepped on your... When does the movie actually come out in theaters?
September 2nd, 200 screens. But it comes out tomorrow, August 30th, for the Fathom Events. Go to fathomevents.com or something like that for more information. Somebody asked me online, they're like, I thought you said this was a kid's movie, because it is literally a kid's movie. But they're like, the Fathom Events thing is R-rated. That's because the intro has a lot of me talking.
Yeah, sweariness.
Yeah, a lot of me swearing, throwing around the swear words and stuff. But if you don't want the swear words, the swear wordless version, September 2nd, you can go check it out in the theater. And if you want to be alone, September 2nd, go check it out in the theater.
Oh, man.
Kevin Smith movies, they're not known.
Bring some reading.
Yeah. Bring a blanket. Look, if you ever had a dream of fucking in a public theater, Yoga Hosers, oddly enough, probably might be your best opportunity. Don't do it if there are kids there or anything, but like if you're
or
alone.
If Paul Rubens is there, don't do it.
But, it's my point being, like, a lot of people when Tusk came out, they're like, I'm alone in a theater. Is this supposed to be part of the movie?
Yes, it's part of the experience.
I was like, yeah, that makes it even creepier. So don't expect to see a lot of people there. Or the people you do see there will probably be like-minded, like Kevin Smith supporters. So you'll see that sad glint in their eye, like, here we are again. Setting ourselves up for disappointment. This guy's like pulling a fucking arm on a slot machine that's like, cherries, walrus. And then you're like, fuck. He's a broken slot machine.
Well, I disagree, sir. I think that, in fact, I think that your own role in the film is worth the price of admission.
I play a 1-foot-tall Canadian Nazi made of bratwurst called a Bratzi.
Yes, but
that
more to the
performances go. You actually were the co-authors of that performance because Andy did all the special effects. Andy is not a special effects guy, but he is now in my book. Andy once made the mistake.
Once you see the movie, I won't be again.
Yeah, you'll be like, I think I could do that. I doubt it. Andy did a great job. Andy was he worked for the Tonight Show for years, the Jay Leno Tonight Show, and he did those things that they're like, we'll be right back. And all those little bumpers they put like at the end of the acts and stuff. He built a lot of those and essentially learned how to use Maya while you were working there?
Yeah, that's the software we use.
So Andy knew more than anybody I knew who was, I know a lot of people in the effects business, but I mean, he was a close friend of mine and I was like, oh, fucking, maybe you could do the effects, man. Like, I trust you turning me into a fat little wiener. You do it all the time. So, I handed over the reins to Dandy Andy. So when you see me in the trailer, if you go to see the trailer for Yoga Hosers or go see the movie tomorrow night or on Friday when it comes out, anytime you see me in the movie, that's because of Andy.
Yeah. And you play not just one Bratzi.
I play them all.
You play them all. You play all. I think our last count was there's about 135.
Really?
Yeah. Different Bratzis. And some of them have different action. Like, we had to do some CG Bratzis because they were doing, like, one of them does the jump from Cliffhanger. Mm-hmm. That was Cliffhanger Bratzi.
I like that one.
The one does shadow boxing. That was shadow boxing Bratzi.
These are very imaginative names, Andy. I see you worked much harder on the names than you did on the actual effects.
No, but there's nothing more fun than a box of Bratzis.
We got Eric Pyro. Pornos for Pyros. E-Pyro on Twitter says, how about some comics talk? What do you think of the recent trend of changing universes continuity every year? Well, I've had my continuity changed a few times in my lifetime. Even during the run of books that I consider like my era, they would do things like after Crisis. I came in as a regular hardcore reader after Crisis on Infinite Earths. So after that, they would also have events where like Legends or 0 Hour, where they would reset the timeline or elements. I remember in 0 Hour, the big outrage was Joe Chill might not have been the guy who killed Bruce Wayne's parents. And we thought that was like, oh my God, they're going to shatter the universe. And the New 52, like, threw out the entire old DC universe and created a new DC universe. And now Rebirth, which is what they're doing over at DC Comics right now, is bringing back, elements of that old universe and elements of this New 52 and expanding so they can put more of the old stuff back in continuity, I guess. Or it's this simple to answer the question. What do I think of it? Of course, I would love there to be one continuity for all time, the one I grew up with, but life's not like that, man. Every generation gets the Batman it deserves or whatever. So I'm fine with it switching over, especially from a business standpoint. Like, Mike Carlin is he was an editor at DC Comics years ago, and now he works over in the movies. They make the cartoon movies and stuff. The great Carlini, they called him. Carlin once said when I was over there at DC, he was like, comic books are all second act. He's going like, the first act already happened. Like, you all know the origin story. And we'll never do the third act because then the book's over. We got to keep the characters going. So comic books are always second act. It's always, you got to create new shit to do every damn month. And they've been doing this shit since the 30s and 40s. So, how many fucking permutations of adventures are there, particularly with the character of Superman? A lot of writers always go like, it's not fun to write for Superman because like he could just do everything and there's really no vulnerability other than kryptonite and blah, blah, blah. And how many fucking kryptonite stories can you tell? Turns out a lot, fucking decades worth, because every person has a fertile imagination that isn't the imagination belonged to their predecessor. I mean, just because you have people that do a phenomenal job on a book and then walk away, nobody could just be like, well, let's just leave it. Like I remember when Joe Quesada, and Jimmy Palmiotti approached me to do Daredevil because I talked about loving Daredevil, and they did the artwork in one of the, for the Jay and Silent Bob card in the opening, sequence of Mallrats.
Right.
So I knew the boys and they got editorial control from Marvel. This would never happen again. Never. Oh my God. I'm just thinking about it. This shit would never happen again in our lifetime, where Marvel's like, take some of our characters and go ahead, do whatever you want with them. Like, number one, Disney owns them now and stuff, so that wouldn't happen. But yeah, that was probably the last time in history that would ever happen. Happened with Heroes Reborn when like they gave Rob Liefeld and Jim Lee and a bunch of those a bunch of, what was it, Wildstorm? No, I forget, Top Cow, a bunch of those cats. Bunch of those, Image, that's the name of the company. Image guys, a bunch of Marvel characters, and let them kind of take over out of Marvel. Those days will never happen again. IP at this point, intellectual property as they call it, or characters as we call them, they're valuable. They're like absolute fucking gold. Even the most ridiculous character in a comic book universe can be something. Look at Rocket Raccoon or Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy. So they gotta switch those universes up all the time. They got to come up with new stories to tell all the time, and switching universes up is one way to do it for a long stretch of time. Like New 52 went on for a little while, a couple of years, I believe. And then now they're going, okay, we're going to change it to something else that's a little more familiar to something else. Guess what? 25, 30 years from now, they're going to do another shift where it's just like, and now the New 52 is back, because that generation of readers will have grown up, have children of their own, and they're like, oh, when I read these books, this was my favorite storyline. And so they can revisit that with their kids, so to speak.
Well, in real life too, and in society, the universe changes all the time. It's, look back
at that. No, that's not true, right?
It is, of course. Look at,
what scientist said this?
Well,
did science say this?
For years and years, they thought that the Earth was at the center of the solar system, and then at the center of the universe.
Yeah.
And then along comes Galileo and says, no, it's, the Earth is not at the center. It's the sun.
And he's like, science!
And everyone's like, boy, everything just changed.
Yeah. He was like, good heavens, Miss Sakamoto, you're beautiful.
They're like, well, for an Italian, he talks just like a British guy.
I don't believe it. There he goes again. He Dolby'd that shit. He proved that science, he blinded us all with science. What is the point of that?
I was saying that the universe, our perception of everything changes from time to time, so why shouldn't it happen in the comic books too?
I like that. Good point. Reflective. I wasn't being critical. I was literally asking. I was lost. Your words were so big. I was like, what was that? I was
trying to talk slow.
Right now, everybody who normally listens to Opie and Jimmy are like, are you fucking serious? This is what they're going to, fucking comic books, grow up, you piece of shit. Back to the main question of the day. Is Father Karras's mom truly in hell?
Go back to talking about the,
or was the devil playing Father Karras? That's what I want to hear from the audience, man.
Okay.
I want to hear your opinion. It's very binary. Can't be that complicated. It's either, yeah, she was in hell, or no, devil's just being a dick.
Well, let's look at some of the other voices he did, like, hey, Father.
He did Bane, didn't he? He was like, oh, Father. There's, your mother's in here with us. Would you like to speak to her? It's a morning Bane.
But he did the beggar from the subway too, didn't he? He was like, spare quarter for my altar boy.
Yeah, remember that? Oh my God. Oh my God. You're right. You just gave me chills on that as well. So according to William Peter Blatty, the demon, the devil, Lucifer, is like Rich Little. He's just an impressionist.
That's right.
He's just like, I got a million of them. You want to hear my Johnny Carson? Well,
they just bring him into ADR every time they
he's the guy when
someone.
you're watching a commercial and you're like, wow, man, I think Richard Dreyfuss did the voiceover. He's like, no, that's me. Richard Dreyfuss sound alike Lucifer. Yes. See the last name? Morningstar. Lucifer Morningstar.
Yeah. I got Richard Dreyfuss in here.
He's not dead. Who you gonna believe? Well, I don't know. It's the devil. I'm not quite sure. That's why
After Moon over Parador, it really didn't matter.
Whoa. Richard Dreyfuss, I understand, is a massive fan of the Opie and Jimmy show, so you just fucking insulted him. Aha! Here's a text from my mom, because I wrote to her at 4 a.m. Thank God, because I was literally sitting there going, you are tempting fucking fate talking about moms in the afterlife, you fat piece of shit. But mom checks in and says, no, Tiger, I got out yesterday and I couldn't stay in that hospital. They wanted to do an MRI on me. Yeah. How unruly.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
How shitty of them. Hey, hospital, stop trying to help my mother, bullies. They said they don't exchange tests, meaning she was at a different hospital, results between hospitals, and she had just had an MRI Monday in Riverview. She said, how are you doing today? Wow, look at that. That's a fucking mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, oh my God, how are you? Because I had a terrible dream last night that somebody gave me the bad news, and I woke up like, and it was good because I had to, bad because it sucked, but good because I was like, oh, I got to go do that show. So I was starting to text her right away and be like, you awake, you awake. But now that she's awake and doing great, we can have our discussion of the day. I was wavering for a minute because I was like, fuck, that's stupid of me to do. But she's out of the hospital, so I'm good. Nothing bad ever happens out of the hospital, Andy.
Exactly
I'm sure she'll be
right.
fine. So yeah, man, Father Karras' mom, in hell, or is the devil just being a dick? That makes all the difference. That's one of those, that's a thread that was left dangling in that movie, man.
Doesn't Max von Sydow warn him not to get in a conversation with Satan?
Yeah, but Max von Sydow's not right about everything. Remember at the beginning of Force Awakens? He was way wrong about fucking around with Kylo Ren. He was like, oh, an embarrassment to the family. He's like, pshaw, fucking jerk. Dropped him. So I don't know if the word of Max von Sydow is going to go far enough.
You know what Max von Sydow needed in Star Wars was that little box of teeny tiny pills that he would shake and spill everywhere.
Yeah, that would have helped.
From the Exorcist.
From the Exorcist. Yeah. That would have distracted Kylo Ren. He's like, pick up those pills, old man. That's a pretty good Kylo Ren for really my first time.
That gave me chills. I was like,
pick up those pills, old man, and stop being a dick. You're an embarrassment to the family. Fuck you. How about that? That's my Force Awakens by Kev Smith.
That was listen, Adam, I'm glad you have the mask on because we're gonna have to replace some of that.
They're like, we're at a test screening and they're like, that was the Force Awakens by Kev Smith. What are your thoughts? Yes, you, sir. Can the fucking Force go back to sleep? Because that sucked a dick. Okay, that's, I think, on the fence.
Uh-huh.
Let's see, how many people liked it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, nobody. What was wrong with that scene exactly? It was too fucking long, 30 minutes. Kept calling the old man a dick. If I want to see that shit, I'll hang out in my own house and call the dick by my kid. I come to the movies for joy. Take me to space. All right, fair enough. Good point, good point. Did anybody like Kevin Smith's version of Kylo Ren? Let's see a show of hands. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's nobody. All right. We made a bad decision here. It's a bad call. Yeah. We're going to shelve this movie.
Yeah, your version of his holding that energy bolt was his own energy bolt. He was holding.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what a Jedi's never done on film before? Held his dick. Can he do that? They're like, not every first is a good first. JJ Abrams, man, fucking.
That was your title.
I love JJ Abrams. I love that movie. I thought he did a great job. Some people are like, it's fucking A New Hope. I'm like, no, it's not, but it's reminiscent of A New Hope, and I think that's what we all wanted in a Star Wars movie. So, mission accomplished. He's a fucking good dude. Can I tell you my JJ story?
Please do.
This is my favorite JJ story. So, it's long. Buckle up.
Okay. It's starting to feel like Geeking Out on AMC with Kevin Smith and Greg Grunberg.
What an excellent plug. Well done. Smoothly worked in there.
When is that on? Is it
Don't
on Sunday?
fucking leave your pants off around Andy McElfresh. It will slip in before you know it so smoothly. Well done, Andrew. That was on AMC last night. They aired Geeking Out.
Sunday nights.
Andy works on it too. That's why he's plugging it. He's like, that's my job.
I'm plugging it because it's good.
Good show, right? I saw some dude in my Instagram thread was like, fuck your show. But other than that, everyone likes it.
So one guy on Instagram.
I know, but that's, it's so easy to listen to the negative. Anyway, here's my JJ story. So what was it? I was at, what a compelling story.
I know, it's so top of mind.
It begins badly like a bad race in a movie and shit, but watch, I'll fucking lap everyone else in a second. Here we go. I'm up to speed. Clerks, Circa Clerks. Me and Scott Mosier, my producer, the guy that I do the Smodcast podcast with. Plug City here today, right? We're
Scotty Mo.
With my bro, Scotty Mo. He goes, we're up at Miramax, had just picked up Clerks. Mm-hmm. So we went from guys making a movie going, boy, I hope somebody sees this, to like, the crown fucking jewel in indie distribution at the time. Miramax, the company, the name amongst names, has our movie and shit. We're safely ensconced with people that know how to market and get something out there and stuff. Our careers have begun in earnest. So we get to go to Miramax all the time, and we do it a lot. We go up there and hang out, and fucking they're like, you can go now, we're not doing anything. We're like, can we see free movies and shit? Can we get tapes? And they'd give us VHSs and shit. So, we were young like everyone that worked there. Not like Harvey and Bob. They weren't like that old, but they were definitely older than us. But all the staff was made up of like kids our age and shit. So it was easy and fun to hang out with everybody there. Gina Gardini was our publicist. She was fucking dope, man. Real cool. And so we were hanging out with Gina Gardini in her office, and she goes, oh, see that box? Take that box. Lift up. And so I grabbed the box. She goes, open it up. Look inside. I was like, what's in the box? That's another movie. No, that was a movie I saw. So open the box, and in it, there are T-shirts say Clerks on them. So I'd never seen that before. Now that's...
And those jaunty letters that have all different sizes and colors?
But all one solid color of blue, because they didn't want to pay a lot of money. These were free T-shirt giveaways. And so they were white T-shirts, blue collars, said Clerks in that font from the poster, but just in straight blue across the chest. And I'd never seen something of mine put on a T-shirt other than like one time I took a black magic marker and wrote Snoopy on a T-shirt when I was a kid, and I don't think that counts. So there's something I created, Clerks, on a fucking T-shirt for the first time. I've seen that many times since, and I'm a Lucas kind of guy, whereas I loved making merchandise back in the day, put my characters on everything. It was fun. So, even if it wasn't, for everybody, it was for a small audience, but fuck it, it was fun. So I've had many T-shirts since then, but this was the fucking first. And, all it said was Clerks, bitch, but I'm like, oh my God, it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. It was like finding the lost Ark of the Covenant in the Well of Souls. It just glowed gold, even though it was white T-shirt, blue lettering.
Why, this box is 10 kadams high.
Yeah, but give back one kadam to honor the Hebrew God whose Ark this is. And that's how we beat Tot to the fucking Well of Souls, son. And that's my JJ story. No, I'm getting confused with Raiders of the Lost Ark. So I'm looking at the shirt. I'm like, this is phenomenal. What is this for? And she goes, we made them up for a radio giveaway. So there was a screening, and I said, how'd it play? She goes, went very well. She's going, but these shirts left over, and I figured you'd want them. I said, oh my God, I'd want them. How many are there? She's like, there's 10 in there. I said, this fucking rocks. Thank you. So we left, me and Scott, we go downstairs. And this is when, Miramax, I think they're still there. I think Weinstein Company's there now, but Miramax was at, Greenwich.
Right.
Like they had the Miramax screening room right there down in, what do they call that? Is it technically Soho? I'm not sure.
Yeah. Let's just say Soho for the purposes of this story.
So, as we go, as was the custom in those days, Andy, you couldn't just park anywhere you want. It's fucking New York. Parking is like, rare.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's not like
pricey.
now.
No, where parking's free and easy, like breathing. It was so bad. I come from New Jersey at that point, and I had to make there's a period of adjustment, because in Jersey, you can park anywhere you want. Mm-hmm. You can park on a fucking neighbor's lawn, and they're like, Jersey represent. Like, we all love each other and shit. But, you know, you go to New York, they charge you to park. It was so fucking foreign to me. I'm like, thank God we sold this movie because this parking costs $12 fucking dollars. Now it's like 30. It's like expensive. My point, Andy, in short, it's expensive to park in New York City. So anyway, we're waiting for our car. There's a guy who we chit chat all the time to in the parking lot who'd get our car. He's a cool guy. He was older than us. But he's like, hey, man, I saw you guys. He reminded me of George Carlin. He's like, I saw you guys on the news talking about your movie, man. Fuck the system. Like, I didn't know what that meant, but I was like, yeah, fuck it. I think just because we were indie film or whatever. So he went to get our car. While we're waiting for the car, this guy comes over with this girl that we knew, that Scott knew. I gotta look up her name. But Jill Mazursky, that's who it is. Mm-hmm. So Scott had met her somewhere. She was a writer. And maybe still is a writer for all I know. But she was with this guy in glasses. And, you know, Scott and her said hi, and then Scott said, hey, this is Jill. And then he goes, I think it was Jill Mazursky. Maybe I'm wrong. But JJ, I told the story recently to JJ on Geeking Out, and he didn't correct me, so I'm pretty sure I'm right about this. But you got to remember, this 22 fucking years ago. Mm-hmm. But I remember not so much who he was with, but I remember the moment because of what happens next.
Okay.
So she goes, this is my friend JJ Abrams. And I say, hey, like I knew his name because him and her had sold a spec script called Taking Care of Business. I don't know if it was called that originally, but it was the Jim Belushi movie. Mm-hmm. And like, you know, they were in the news back in the day when there was no internet. I read about them in Variety for two kids that sold a spec script. That script got a lot of money and shit. And then he went on to write Regarding Henry, mm-hmm. that Mike Nichols directed and stuff. So I was like, oh, hey man, how are you? And he goes, hey, what's in the box? And I was like, oh, there's t-shirts for this movie we made called Clerks that Miramax put out. I was proud of that. Like, you know, I was dropping the Miramax name like it was a big cock and shit. And he goes, oh, can I have one? And I was like, yeah, of course. I opened the box, he grabbed a shirt. He was like, thanks. And then him and her said goodbye and went into the building. And me and Scott got in our car and we started driving home. And we're like maybe a block away from Miramax when I'm like, can you believe that guy just took a fucking t-shirt? We don't even know that fucking guy. We just met that guy and he fucking asked us for a t-shirt and I gave him one and we had 10 t-shirts. Now we got 9. And Scott's like, your math's impeccable. And I was like, why did I fucking say yeah? Why didn't I stand up and be like, no, these are fucking for friends and family and stuff. I didn't even have to be a dick about it, but I didn't have to give him a shirt. He's like, I don't know. I was like, fucking, he mind tricked me. This dude got a fucking shirt on me. Like, I can't give one to one of my friends when I get home. I was fuck. I was like, pissed me off the whole ride home to Jersey, which was an hour. Me and Scott are talking about the audacity of this dude asking a total stranger for a fucking
Especially
shirt.
After he sold a spec. It's like, what the hell?
I'm like, you got money? Buy one of these shirts. So next time I saw JJ, I guess was a couple of years later, and this is many years later actually, when he was doing Alias. Like, you know, he made this transition to TV and then blew up on TV and then transitioned back to movies. So he was working on Alias and I fucking loved that show when it was on back in the day. Like, I was a big fan of that shit.
But not anymore.
I mean, I haven't watched it in a long time. Yeah. But like, I worked with Greg mm-hmm. Grunberg, who was on Alias as well. And I worked with Jennifer Garner, who was in Catch and Release, and she was on Alias. Yeah, man, I've had a lot of Alias. And JJ, I hung out with JJ. Yeah. Like, that's fucked up. Alias plays a major role to some degree in my life. How weird. So I guess it was around that time we were out west. We're in Los Angeles right now. And I'd come out to do Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. So that t-shirt thing was 94. Mm-hmm. This is 2001. So I reconnect with JJ at that point because we're out here and, working on the flick. And he was working on a movie with Mick G, a Superman remake, like another Superman.
Okay.
So they were rebooting it. Never wound up happening. They did the one with Bryan Singer instead. But this one, you could find the script on the internet, like Kryptonians come to Earth and stuff like that. Like Krypton didn't really blow up. That was kind of controversial, even though the movie wasn't made. People heard about that on the internet. They're like, what? Krypton didn't blow up. That's a big part of the fucking myth, ocean jerks. And you're like, hold on, see the movie.
Yeah, talk slower.
Yeah, and don't be, no, everyone's a piece of shit. You don't have to say that. So, they were working on that flick and I had done the DVD, even in Kevin Smith, where I told the story about working on Superman. So he reached out to me and he was like, cause I was talking nice about Alias or something like that. And he was like, oh my God, you got to come out to eat with me and Mick G because we're working on Superman right now, and we watched you tell the story about Superman on the internet. This is the early days, man. So he's like, we got to talk about it. We got to compare notes because we're working with him now. This guy, John Peters, that was so crazy. And if you don't know that story, you can watch me tell it on the Evening with Kevin Smith DVD. You don't even buy it. Jump on, I forgot what year we were. Jump on YouTube, enter Kevin Smith Superman story, or watch John Schnepp's amazing documentary, The Death of Superman Lives, What Happened. Like, you can order that online, or I'm sure it must be streaming someplace, but it's an amazing fucking documentary about that movie that fell apart.
Yes, it is.
So, he was working on the new Superman with McG. He's like, why don't you come out to lunch? We'll compare notes. I said, all right. And so we all went out to eat right on Sunset by, where Tower is. I want to say the restaurant was Cabrera. I don't know. No, Cabrea's on Brea. I don't know. El Sol, Cod de Sol. Maybe that's it. So, fun lunch, just sitting around comparing notes. Like, this guy's wacky. He was being wacky with them as well. And then they were like, hey, their offices were upstairs, or McG's offices, I think, were upstairs. He was like, come upstairs and we'll show you a previs. They did a previs is like I don't know what it stands for exactly, but it's like
pre-visualization.
Take over, Andy. What is it?
It's just a way of looking at how usually an action sequence or, some sweeping shots or things so that
like animated storyboards, if you will. And back then, this was 2001. They were very crude. Now, like, they can make something look like a video game to show you what the scene's going to look like. I remember on Daredevil, Mark Steven Johnson, I think that was his name, the director, showed me a previs of a fight sequence that had no actors. It was just put together by the visual effects company and stuff. I'm like, wow, this is nuts.
Yeah. What about the Star Wars previses from the first three movies where they're all just toys in their guys' hands?
A stick in a dude's hand and stuff. So he shows me, they show me the previs sequence of Superman flying for the first time. For a sequence in a movie that nobody ever saw. And we've seen sequences of him flying for the first time before, trying and stuff. This is pretty good though. It's a pretty amazing sequence. And then, after it was all done, like after they showed me stuff, we were sitting around talking, and then I was like, oh, I gotta blow out of here because it'd been a few hours. And, I was like, I was putting together a birthday party for my kid. Harley, my daughter, was going to be, I think 2 at that point. Or maybe 3. And so, I was like, if I don't get home, start helping out my wife, she's going to kill me. And JJ goes, oh my God, you got a kid too? I said, yeah, she's 2 or about to be 3 or 1 about to be 2. I think it was 2 about to be 3. And he's like, my daughter's almost the same age.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, can I have it?
Can I have your kid? And he goes, my daughter's almost the same age. And I said, oh, right on. And he goes, can I bring my kid to your party? And I like hear him like, all right, fucking fork in the road time. 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and I took the road less traveled by. Now I'm back to the same point, and I could literally shut him down, not give him the shirt, so to speak.
Exactly.
Instead of just pussing out and being like, yeah, take a shirt because you asked and shit, social pressure. I could just be like, no, dude, of course not. I don't really know you. Why would you want to come to my house for a party and stuff? But instead I was just like, oh yeah, totally. Okay. And said yes. And I remember leaving going like, what is my problem with this guy? I just can't say no to him. He's so nice and stuff. It's crazy. So I got home and told my wife, I was like, she goes, how's your lunch with JJ? She was a big Alias fan. So I said, it was fun, man. We had a good time chit chatting and stuff. I said, he's coming to the party tomorrow, kids party. And she goes, what? I said, yeah, he's got a kid too, Gracie. And my kid and his kid like still hang out. Like they wound up going to the same school and they hang out. It's crazy. So this is before they even were in a room together. And still, I don't even know, like I love JJ to death, but I don't know if I would go so far as to be like, oh, he's one of my good friends, because like you see friends on a regular basis, but he is always fucking friendly, super nice and stuff. So I guess I kind of consider him a friend. I don't know if that's hubris or not though, to be like, he's my friend. Maybe he's over there going, he's an acquaintance of mine.
Yes. I invited myself to a few parties, and that's about it.
I took a fucking shirt and he won't leave me alone for it. So he did, like, I told my wife, I was like, he said he's going to come over. My wife's like, really? And I was like, yeah, but people say shit like that and they never come over. So I doubt he's coming. Sure enough, fucking he showed up the next day with his kid at the party and stuff. So, he's always like, we've always crossed paths. Right around that time, I was working on Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. And so Jon Favreau used to have this amazing show on IFC called Dinner for Five,
right,
where you take 4 people out to eat and they just sit around and bullshit. Amazing fucking television show. Why he doesn't do it anymore, I don't know. Probably because he's a successful director. And I'm the guy who's like, I'd rather sit around and talk to famous people. I don't know where the switch happened. But me, I'd be more interested in like revamping Dinner for Five than like if somebody was like, hey, you want to make another movie? I'd be like, yeah, but doing Dinner for Five are going to be amazing. A, interesting. People, the art of conversation. B, free fucking food. Like I was on the show once when they did a Daredevil roundtable and it took us out to a restaurant and I was like, this fucking shit's free? We don't have to pay for it. Oh my God. What a great show this is.
Kevin, when you make a movie, free food.
Why do you think I fucking made so many, Andy? Free food and clothes. That's why I just like my characters. Free clothes. So, you know, I love the show. It's awesome. I was on it as a guest. And one time Favreau was like, I can't do the show this week. I'm busy. And they asked me who could do it. And I know that you love the sound of your own voice. Why don't you host the show? And I was like, okay. And they let you pick your panel, whoever you want to talk to. So this was my panel. You can watch this show. It's on YouTube. My episode of Dinner for Five. Me, Stan Lee, Jason Lee, Mark Hamill, JJ Abrams.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's bucket list last meal material right there. So we all go out to eat and have a good old time. You can see the episode. But at one point, like Mark Hamill is talking about, you know, if they ever made another Star Wars, I was kind of hoping that Luke would go dark. And this is what I was thinking. And they'll cut to JJ and it's like, you can see him writing notes. You go, And this is 2001, dude. This is long before anyone could ever imagine that not only is Disney going to buy Star Wars, but they're going to reignite the franchise and turn it into a regular thing. It's no longer just going to be 3 movies we saw when we were a kid and then 3 movies we kind of saw when we were adults, but like now it's going to be the universe is back in a big bad way. It's cinematically speaking. I understand the cartoons have been around and stuff.
You're like, shut up, Hamill. Let's get back to his father's Karis's mother in hell.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to talk about Star Wars. I'm talking about The Exorcist. So let me see. When was the next time I see him, man? Because that was like 2001. I don't know. Like I guess like over the years he would like tap me to be like, hey, come. He goes, like he did Mission Impossible, directed the 3rd Mission Impossible. He goes, hey, can you come over and watch Mission Impossible and give me some cut notes? I'm looking for cuts. So, yeah. So I went over to Paramount, and that's where their editing was set up. And they added on a big, Avid, like back when Avid wouldn't fit on a laptop, big, multiple monitors and shit. He gave me a yellow legal pad. He goes, write down any notes you got. He's like, I'm going to go home, but like leave the notes here when you leave. I was like, all right. So I sat there watching the movie and stuff, wrote all notes, then gave them to his assistant when I left. I was like, this is for JJ. And so, you know,
probably worth more than a shirt, worth more than a shirt. Like, your notes on a.
No, not at all. Because he called me the next day and he goes, 6 pages of notes. And I was like, yeah, dude. He's going, but none of them are useful. He's going, listen to this note. Oh my God, this movie rocks. He's like, that's not a note, Kevin. He's going, this one here, Cruise is on fire. That's not a note. And I was like, I liked it. And he was just like, these are the only notes that I'm ever going to get framed. He's going, they're wonderful. Thank you. And so Star Trek, I went to his, like he had an early screen. He's like, come watch Star Trek. Same thing. Not with a legal pad. That was with a room full of people. And so over the years, like, you know, he's been like, come watch this. What do you think and stuff? Wouldn't that make us friends? Why am I so like
Kevin,
scared about being
based
like,
on the people, the way that people call each other friends in this town, you guys are best friends. You guys are
right?
You're like his godfather.
No, that's him and Greg are like super.
Yeah,
they grew up together.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Age 5 plus.
Yeah. They've known each other a lifetime, but I feel like it's like, you know, a friend is somebody that like, hey man, you want to, like, I wouldn't feel comfortable calling him up to be like, hey, you want to go grab some meat? Oh, that's not true. I actually wrote him an email going, let's grab some meat. Because he said to me, I guess we are fucking friends, right? It's just I never want to, like, it's not like I don't want to say it because, like, fuck, I don't like him. I don't want to say it because just in case he's like, no, Kevin, we're not friends. You know people, I know people, but we know each other.
I ask you for stuff and you say yes. That's not friendship. No, of course it is.
He was a super nice guy. Maybe he's just being nice to everybody. This is the same way, like, I didn't know my wife wanted to fuck me the first time I was with her. I just thought she was being really nice to me. Like, super polite and like, I don't want to hurt this fat boy's feelings. So I thought maybe JJ was the same way, where he's just like, oh, this guy thinks we're friends. That's cute.
No, that's just your own insecurity. I think that he is your friend, and he has that talent that I know that I'd probably
he's great
have
with
a bit.
people.
Just that, like, it would, to me, I'd be embarrassed to say, like, well, you're having a party. I got a kid I do have a kid your kid's age, and you guys were nice enough to invite Daisy to a bunch of parties over the years, but I would never ask you. That's like totally crossing the, the violating the unwritten law. And it's totally makes sense with him. He's just like, it's the nicest guy. He just gives off good vibes.
So like, it wasn't like, hey man, that's not politically correct. He was just like, oh, can I come? I'm like, yeah, that'd be great. And then, going home, I'm like, I can't say no to this man. What's the problem with me? And so, I wound up, he put me in Force Awakens. I got to do a voice in Force Awakens. I was a voice of a stormtrooper. And when we went to see the movie, me and my wife, man, like, fucking at the end of the flick, I hear myself in the middle of the flick at one point. And then at the end of the flick, like in that familiar blue font of the credits, like there's my name. Like, I've seen those credits since I was a kid, going to see Star Wars and Empire and Jedi. And then there's the same font and the same color, and there's my name in the back, and additional voices, fucking Kevin Smith. And, a lot of people named Kevin Smith, but I know this one's me and not Kevin James. So I'm like, oh my God. So I'm leaving the theater, and my wife, is just, I'm glassy eyed and stuff. And she's like, she's going, that must be amazing. What are you thinking right now? And I was like, I'm thinking I'm glad I gave JJ a shirt. Because all of this stems from that fucking shirt, man. Thank God.
Now you see what giveaway T-shirts are truly for.
Yeah,
the true meaning of premiums.
That was a bridge. Can you imagine, dude? That T-shirt, box of T-shirts Gina Gardini gives me. If she don't give me that box of T-shirts, if they give all those T-shirts out, like at that screening, I got no T-shirt to give to JJ. Maybe there's no bridge. Maybe fucking we're not friends.
But also in the moment, you could have said like, yeah, why don't you go regard Henry? Because I'm keeping this fucking shirt.
Regarding this T-shirt, it's fucking mine. I walk away, strong arm and walk away. No, think about it. And I don't even know who to blame or thank for this. I say Gina Gardini, but you have to dial it back even further. Because, well, not further, I guess.
The ancient Chinese who invented silk screening?
Yes, people who invented shirts and silk screening. No, like the lazy college kids who were like, I don't want to see that. Not lazy, good tasting comics kids, college kids who decided not to go see Clerks at a free screening meant there were 10 extra T-shirts, one of which was a fucking bridge to Star Wars. Think about that shit. That's insane. That's why I should be nice to everyone in this life. I understand like the custom or the parlance of our times is to be shitty with everybody, particularly online and stuff, because it's anonymous, it's fun, and it's fucking easy to make people fucking upset. It's, I don't know why it appeals to the bully nature in folks, but like.
It's been that way, but I think it's getting better.
You think so?
Yeah.
I'm not even complaining. This isn't even a hate screed about like people need to be nicer, but this is just advice, man. Like be nice to everybody, motherfucker. Unless they're not nice to you, then there you go. Then you can be not nice to them. Or even then it's not fucking useful to be not nice. In our house, man, our motto, we kill them with kindness, son. Like don't, I hate to say it's kind of Christian in its thinking, but my wife would get so fucking upset if I said that. She's not religious at all. Mm-hmm. So to her, it's like, no, it's killing with kindness. But to me, it's like, it is kind of Christian. I was raised Catholic and stuff. And the idea is to just be like, love the enemy. Like, you never hate the enemy and fucking nothing good comes out of it. If you love the enemy, maybe you love the hate back a little bit or something like that. But I don't want to preach, but this is just an example of like, fucking just be nice to people. Motherfucker asks for a T-shirt, be like, yeah, okay. Don't be a dick to people. You never know what the bridge to Star Wars is in your own life, whatever your Star Wars is.
That's a beautiful thought. I'm going to take that one with me. I'm going to go make some T-shirts right now.
Advice to live by. They say we got to break every hour. Do we have to break now or something like that? I can't hear you from the other side of that wall.
She gave you one of these. I could be, I don't know, whatever.
It's kind of loosey-goosey here on Sirius XM.
It's up to you.
Really? I'm in fucking total control?
You can break now or you can break in a minute.
We'll break in a couple minutes. We'll just reset. Well, let's reset because a bunch of people are like, what the fuck's going on? Why isn't the show funny today? Because it's not Opie and Jimmy, unfortunately. You got Kevin Andy, or The Candy Show with Kevin Andy.
Is that our celeb name?
Yeah, Candy. They're like, there they go, Candy. They love each other. Fucking mouth candy. Why don't you get married, you fucking jerks? And we're like, Jesus.
Wow.
Hostility.
Let's kill them with kindness.
Yeah, and then we turn around, we're like, we are married. We are too married. Fuck you. Remember Sid and Nancy? When she calls her mom, she's like, Mom, we're married. Can you send us money? We are what? We are too married. Fuck you. And fucking Carrie Olden's just like dazed in the fucking phone booth. What was her name? She was amazing, that actress. Played Nancy.
Drawing a blank.
I know, me too. Fuck.
I'm getting a
Wish we had the
Courtney
internet.
Love vibe off it, but
Courtney Love is in the movie.
I know, but
in a
it's
small
not her.
part, but it's not her. God damn it. She was so great in that movie. In any event, someone will.
I know it seems like a job for the internet.
The internet's fucking screaming at us. But so Opie and Jimmy are off for the day, but they'll be back tomorrow. Don't fucking worry, man. Or no, I don't think they're. Maybe somebody else is. But they're going to be back.
Yeah.
So if you're sitting there going, this show fucking sucks a fat one. And when I say fat one, I mean either a cock or a fucking clit or boob or whatever, equal opportunity. How about we just go genderless and say, this show sucks an asshole.
Wow.
There you go.
Yeah, I guess
everyone's got one of those.
Yeah,
There you
exactly
go.
right.
Not leaving anybody out. Yes, it does. But you
Dear
know,
Kevin Smith, I have no asshole.
yeah, I'm like, oh God, I lost one. I was trying to kill him with kindness and I insulted him because he was born without an asshole. No, they'll be back and you'll get the fucking show you want. I promise. Don't cancel your Sirius XM subscription just yet. The show you want will return, but for now, we're just filling in. That's it. And, you know, I would appeal to the better angels of your nature and say like, hey, we're filling in so you get something new. But I know most people would be like, I'd rather something old and funny and something I can depend on. I don't give a fuck about The Exorcist. Fuck you and your friendship with JJ Abrams. I don't give a shit about your mom.
It'll make the regular show seem that much.
Dad? Are you back from the grave?
It'll make the regular show seem that much better.
Truly. This show is an aperitif, if you will. Is that before or after the dinner?
Well, no, I would say this is more like a palate cleanser, like a
sherbet?
sorbet between courses.
Were the sherbet or is it sorbet?
Either one.
What do they give you?
Sherbet, sorbet.
Sherbet.
Depends on the kind of restaurant.
It's the ice
Same
cream you
thing.
don't want. Whatever they hand you, it's not like chocolate or strawberry. It's like, here, lemon. You're like, who the fuck would eat this?
It's to cleanse your palate so you can appreciate the next
No,
course.
lemon is for cleansing a floor, not your fucking palate, man. Bring me chocolate. Like, that's
Is this
not the idea, sir.
Is this lemon pledge ice cream?
Yeah, fuck your lemon pledge. I came to eat a meal. Ice cream first. This is backwards. And it doesn't even taste like ice cream.
And that is why Kevin and I don't go out to eat much.
That's why we eat at stuff like McDonald's.
Mm-hmm. Little Robex from time to time.
Yeah, do a little Robex to wash out the insides with the beets. If you really want to get clean inside, folks, drink yourself one whole beet, blend it up, man. Just watch what happens the next day.
Don't watch.
No, dude, that's the best part. It's like, oh my God, because you get 1 second where you're like, I think I'm dying. And you're like, no, I ate beets. I'm healthy. I'm healthy. And it cleans you out and shit.
It does give you a Game of Thrones moment, though.
Yeah, like there's a red fucking wedding in the toilet. Kevin Smith here, sometime filmmaker, all the time hockey jersey wearer, the human hockey jersey, Kevin Smith, sitting here talking with Dandy Andy McElfresh, my co-host over on Education, sitting in for Opie and Jimmy. That's what we call it, reset. It's 5:57 here in Los Angeles, which would make it add 3 hours. 8:57
Right.
on the East Coast, man. This is
Your math
broadcasting
is
live.
impeccable. To
Thank
quote Scotty Miles.
He's right. Even 22 years later, I could still do simple math. We're on over in Jersey live, son. That's where I'm from. So there are people fucking driving to work going like, this asshole.
I'm driving into the Hudson.
I hate him so much. Just driving right off the parkway into the Hudson. Like, why'd you just change the channel? I didn't think of it. We got to take a break real quick. They tell me it's like an 8-minute break or something like that.
Okay.
But I love to talk so much. It's probably only going to be 4. But we'll take a look at the internet and see how we're doing.
Okay.
I dread this.
Okay.
I'm going to open it up to Twitter and people are going to be like, stop. Just stop right now. Just go dead air. It's more entertaining.
Yes.
Kevin Andy, the Candy Show.
Oh boy.
Candy with Kevin Andy, here on, Sirius XM, sitting in for Opie and Jimmy. We'll be back in a moment. Hey man, we're back. Are we back?
We're back.
We're back. It's Candy.
Oh man, please stop that.
Branding with Kevin Andy.
I know the word sucking is going to come soon.
You're sucking candy. There you go. That's better. Sucking candy. Spelled Kandy with Kevin Andy.
Or an I at the end with a heart on it.
With a heart on.
You know, not
Why'd
a
you have
heart.
to take it dirty?
Heart over
Immediately
it.
you're sticking hard cocks in everything I say, my mouth. Welcome back. As you can probably guess by now, unfortunately for you, the morning commuter, or the person who's just waking up, or the person who's like, hey, I don't have a fucking job. Fuck you. Stop with the pressure. You're sitting there going, where the fuck are the funny guys? Where's Opie?
I know.
Where's Jimmy? They're not here.
We've turned their fans into Garfield because now they hate Mondays.
Oh my God. We Jim Davis the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
And we are normal.
They're just going to order some lasagna.
We are the Odie to their normal Garfield.
Mm-hmm.
The boys will be back. Of course, the men that they are will be back. They're off doing important manly stuff. So the boys have come in to take over. The children have been handed the microphones. I'm Kevin Smith.
I'm Andy McElfresh.
There you go. We need to remind them who we are from time to time. Hey, so last night we got to be topical.
Okay.
Can't always talk about fucking old stories about JJ Abrams and shit like that. Andy. I'm reading tweets right there. Like, tell Andy to stop talking about JJ Abrams.
I was
like,
not the one dropping that. I
was dropping the names.
Yeah.
That was me. I was dropping them like they were too heavy and shit. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I leave this here? It just says JJ Abrams in big letters. Great guy. Really sweet guy. But a lot of people on Twitter during the break, they were like, you are friends, dick. Some guy was like, you've been put in the friend zone, and that's a good thing.
Well, people are writing on the internet, I thought I was your friend, and I don't even know you.
How can you reach us on the internet? On Twitter, I'm at that Kevin Smith, and Andy is at Edumacation Andy. He has one of the longest names in Twitter.
Well, you're the one that gave it to me.
I know.
I dubbed the
Should have called
Edumacation.
it Ed Andy, or should have called you Andy's Mouth. That would have been the better.
Why?
Fucking Andy's hungry mouth. Andy's waiting maw. That's what your Twitter name should have been.
No.
Stick it in my mouth,
No,
Andy. That's
no.
what your name should have been.
I get enough porn bots on Twitter to begin with.
So that's where we saw feedback. If you're trying to feed us back, that's a place to do it. Or you can call in. I believe there's a number that most people know. I don't. And there's a bunch of people waiting on the board, and we'll get to them in a second when we're done fucking talking to each other. Topical news portion of the show.
Okay.
Last night was the MTV Video Music Awards. Did you watch it?
No, I was too busy watching Geeking Out on AMC with Kevin Smith and Greg Grunberg.
What a pal. Excellent plug. I didn't watch it either. So I guess we can't really talk about it.
Okay.
I know it started with Rihanna. Yeah, it was news.
And that is where it begins and ends.
No, and then Beyonce did something that people very much liked. She did a lot of things people liked. And then Britney Spears apparently lip-synced. Oops, I did it again. Not that song, but she lip-synced again.
This is just a generic description of the VMAs.
Pretty much.
It's like, yeah, I know that block of New York. There's a dry cleaners and a bodega on the corner. It's like, yes, I get it.
Jimmy Fallon played Ryan Lochte. Is that his name?
Really?
Yeah.
He fooled him? Like he played him? Or he actually
played him for a sucker.
as...
He pulled a gun on him and shit. And this time it was real.
Yeah.
And nobody believed Chicken Lochte. No, he went out there with a head full of silver hair and made a few jokes about, like he said something like, I couldn't tell you what the best video of the year was with a gun to my head, which like there isn't right now or something like that, playing on the whole gun.
So it was hilarious is what you're saying.
You used to work at MTV. Did you ever work on, before Andy worked at the Tonight Show for like 13 years?
Yeah,
12 years,
14, 13, whatever.
You worked at MTV for how many years?
A number of years.
And you were there for like the Beach House days and shit.
Yeah,
right?
MTV Malibu Beach House, the first few of those, yeah.
And did you ever get to work on the VMAs?
I did not.
Did you ever work on an award ceremony?
I did. I worked on the movie awards.
Yeah?
But,
did you see any stars naked?
No, that's not, like, it's a TV show. They have to have clothes on.
Oh. Well, don't they get changed and stuff?
I know, but they're not like, hey, can you get that, sort of, slightly heavyset guy with glasses to come in here? I need to get changed.
You're talking about me?
No, me.
You're not fucking slightly heavyset. They'd be like, bring that lean swimmer body over here and I'm going to change in front of Candy. Remember? All right.
It's
So
Andy's maw. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Andy's waiting maw. The year that Sarah Jessica Parker was a host, she had like 96 dress changes.
Okay.
So somebody she had to get changed somewhere. There's some changing getting on. And my point, Andy, is stars get naked at
That is your first question. You worked at MTV. Who'd you see naked?
Of course. What famous people did you see naked? People ask me that all the time.
You might accidentally see one of the...
I seen one of Andy's balls once, just one.
The VJs you would accidentally see naked because,
Really?
at the Beach House, we didn't have... It wasn't like a normal setup where there was like tons of dressing rooms and places for things. So, sometimes people would have a quick change and they were not shy.
They would just whip their gear off?
Yeah. They'd be like, bathing suit change.
Oh my God. The idea of fucking seeing Adam Curry in a bathing suit. Jackson. Marvelous Mark Goodman in a six-pack. You've just described my teenage fantasies. Anyway, MTV is still around.
It is.
And they're giving out awards.
Mm-hmm.
They gave the Vanguard Award to Britney Spears.
Really?
Yep.
She's a trendsetter, you're saying?
No, is I right about that? Yeah, they did give her the Vanguard. No. Yeah, Beyonce was last year. No, Rihanna got the Vanguard Award.
Yeah.
My bad.
Britney Spears got the Night Guard Award. She wears a Invisalign when she sleeps.
Or the Right Guard Award because she still believes in spray-on deodorant.
Mm-hmm.
She's like,
and
for
she
my
shot
left
herself
arm,
in the
I
eye.
use left guard. For my right arm, I use right guard.
And she shoots herself in the eye and she says, oh, I did it. Whoops, I did it again.
She says, with that gun, I hit myself, baby, one more time. Here's a bit of sad news, Andy. Christmas.
No. What?
Christmas, which is fast approaching.
I know what Christmas is.
It's August, birth of our Lord, some people's Lord.
I know what month it is.
Big gift-giving holiday in America.
Yes.
Santa Claus, all that stuff.
Oh, that Christmas.
When you think of Santa, what do you think of?
I think of reindeer. I think of
Stop
Dasher
right there.
and
Stop
Dancer.
right there. Oh, yes. You do think of reindeer. Say their names.
Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donder. I put the second D in.
It is Donder, isn't it?
It is Donder. It's not like Richard Donner.
Yeah, the great director of Superman. That'd be amazing. He had fucking 7 reindeers and Dick Donner.
Directing Lethal Weapon while he's
like, you're doing it wrong. I'm getting too old for this shit. You're like, the immortal Dick Donner is a reindeer.
And I'll put Rudolph in there, even though, he's a latecomer to the party.
Carpetbagger.
Mm-hmm.
They only use him when it's stormy and shit. If it's a clear night, he stays home. He's like, you don't need me.
Mm-hmm. And he just plays now.
They're like, your glowing nose will help in any darkness. Yeah, well, bring a fucking flashlight.
And he's like, fuck those reindeer games. I'm playing video games.
Yeah, he's like, I'm playing Call of Duty. Fuck you. Fuck your reindeer games. Look at this shit. Putting on my headphones, fucking ignoring you.
Boy, Rudolph grew up tough.
Well, he is Russian. Speaking of reindeer.
Okay. Well, I mean, this is a weird thing, but continue.
Time magazine reports, sadly, Andrew, get ready for the sad news of the day.
You going to bring me down in the morning?
You can't bring me down. 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 Tell me what's up, Rocky. It's a little bit of suicidal tendencies for you. Thank you.
For those at home, he's actually air guitaring.
I did. I put my guns on display, put my bandana on my head. A bolt of lightning. Science tells us, once again, science.
Oh man, has it killed a baby or what?
Science. They don't give a fuck about babies or God or anything. Godless science. Always proving shit right and whatnot. Science tells us in Time magazine, and this is a sad animal story. People don't really like hurt animal stories.
What are you doing? Aren't we trying to...
It's important because it's creepy and you're also the smartest person I know. That's true. Andy's the smartest person I know. So you might be able to explain how this could happen. Should I do the title or should I bury the lead and read on? Yeah, you know,
I can hear everything you're thinking.
Oh my God. All right, here. I'm not gonna read the title out because then that, right away that tells you the story. Let me lead you in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
A single lightning strike.
Wait a minute. Okay, go on.
Is believed lightning, as in is like thunder, lightning, the way you know me, knock. Anyway, a single lightning strike is believed to have killed more than 300 reindeer in Norway.
Toast?
Yes, in Norway. That was the thing that shocked me the most. I'm like, they got reindeer in Norway?
Not anymore.
Yeah, apparently. A total of 323 reindeer, dude, were found dead in the southern part of Norway on the Hardangervidda Plateau. A press release from the Norwegian Environment Agency said, among the 323 killed, some were calves. That's very sad. An official from the Norwegian Nature Inspectorate discovered their carcasses during a routine inspection on Friday. Can you believe this poor son of a bitch?
Oh my God.
He's got the greatest job in the world, right? He's like, every once in a while I drive up and look at the reindeer. They're fucking beautiful. Sometimes I smoke a joint and just watch them fuck around. Like, I love my job. And then one day you drive up there and you're like, oh.
You're like, is somebody cooking reindeer?
What the fuck is going on? Well, you would be scared shitless when you see that many reindeer dead at once. You'd be like, it's definitely aliens. This is the work of aliens. That's what I would think. I would be like, see if their balls have been cut off because that's what the aliens want. Testicles of the living. That's what I heard. Officials said that they believe the herd of reindeer was killed by a lightning strike as they huddled together during a heavy thunderstorm. This made me so sad.
Just like a single lightning strike?
One group, they were all bonded together because of the thunder. They're trying to keep warm in the storm, I guess. There's nothing to run under. In Norway, no trees, I guess, and stuff. They cut down all their trees. Now I'm just making up history. Norway destroyed their trees, and that's what happened. I sound like the Lorax.
You happy now?
Yeah.
You happy now, Norway?
Who knows why? But they were up on a mountaintop and high on a hill with a lonely goat herd, and lightning hit the whole fucking herd and took out 323.
Wow. I mean, possible? I guess if you look at like people that are most commonly hit by lightning are golfers.
Is that right?
Yeah, because they have spikes that go.
Isn't Andy drop his fucking knowledge? Andy's so fucking smart. Go tell him.
Lee Trevino, who was a popular golfer in the 70s.
I know him from the Simpsons episode where Bart got, instead of Bone Crusher or whatever, he got Lee Trevino's golf challenge.
Well, he was hit many, many times because basically you're holding a lightning rod over your head and you've got spikes in the ground that are grounding you. And it's easy to get hit by lightning. Also, it's easy to get hit if you're a fisherman, especially now that carbon fiber rods are being used because carbon fiber is much more conductive than fiberglass.
I want to stroke my carbon fiber rod while I stare right in your eyes. Would that bug you?
Lord.
I'm like, look at me. Don't look away. Look here.
I'm looking away.
I'm boring into your soul while I stroke my carbon rod.
So maybe their antlers and their hooves were good conductors, but it seems like it must have been like a lightning storm. Like, have you ever been driving, like,
we went to multiple strikes?
We took the kids to the Grand Canyon when they were little.
He's like, I've gotten laid. I got kids to prove it.
Yes.
He had to put that out there in the world because while we were at break, Andy's like, do you think the audience knows that I've had sex? And I was like, well, find a clever way to work it in. And there it was.
Well, we were driving out of the Grand Canyon and there was a lightning storm and we saw maybe 50 to 100 strikes a minute.
The fuck? While you were there?
Pounding the ground around us. It was like driving through a war zone.
Did you start confessing sins to your wife? Like, I'm fucking sorry. I fucked a deer once in Norway.
Wow. I was like, make it rain, deer.
Oh, shit.
I got nothing.
That was good.
But, yeah, so maybe it was something where there was like multiple strikes or something, but that just seems unbelievable. I guess,
multiple strikes have to be 323 each got hit and shit.
Well, I think it would take out more than one, but like how many gigawatts was the,
1.21.
Yeah. Maybe it was 1.21 gigawatts.
When it comes to movie math, I'm very quick.
And
if you ask me to do real math, I'm like, I'm not sure. Carry the 1, move a 2 over. There's a remainder of 8. But when it comes to movie math, I'm like, 1.21 gigawatts.
And they're just running from it going, we have to get up to 88.5.
I believe it was 88.88 miles per hour, but take back 1 mile to honor the Hebrew God whose ark this is.
Yes. Whose DeLorean this is.
Have you seen the memo that has popped up online? This is so worth fucking reading. I'll find it. It's from Sid Sheinberg, who used to run Universal very successfully back in the day. Oversaw things like Jaws.
Okay,
very close with Steven Spielberg.
Heard of him?
Oh, he's a fucking legend. He's married to Lorraine Gary, who was the wife of Chief Brody in Jaws. Why am I fucking filling in all the blanks? I feel like I'm playing Mad Libs by myself.
Well, I can't tell when to jump in here.
Yeah, this Sid Sheinberg.
So she was the one for whom it was personal.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
In Jaws 4.
The Revenge.
This time it's personal.
Yeah, which was like, I remember being a kid being like, wait a minute, so it wasn't personal the other fucking times?
You know what's the weirdest thing about Jaws to me?
Tell me.
You go on the Universal
The weirdest
tour.
thing, I bet you I can guess. The weirdest thing about Jaws to you is you don't know whether or not Jaws was lying about whether Father Karras's mother is truly in hell or not. No, go ahead, tell yours.
Is that when you go to the Universal tour?
Yes.
And the shark jumps out at you?
Yes.
It's jumping out of Cabot Cove.
Yes.
From Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah. Which would have been the greatest episode of fucking Murder, She Wrote ever, man, because they're like, hey, there's no mystery here, old woman. A shark ate these people. It's not Tom Bosley. It's a fucking shark. So what good are your writing skills here? And she's like, I'm useless against a shark. I'm powerless against a shark. I'm like everybody else. When it comes to true crime, I can make a difference. But when it comes to shark crime, I'm futile at best. And that's when she started drinking. That led to heroin and fucking,
but
the
at one
book
point
started becoming real weird. They were more erotic like fiction than mystery thrillers.
At one point, William Wyndham's
She
like,
was like, Tom Bosley took his waiting cock and door. Hey, that's not the book.
that's
you're
Father
supposed to
Dowling
read.
you're talking about.
Yes, that was. They shot Cabot Cove on the Universal lot.
Yeah, and at some point, I just wanted to see, William Wyndham go, that's 20, he's 20 feet long.
25. 3 sons on him.
And have her say that.
Oh, that'd be amazing. She's the Quint of the show and shit. Yeah, she's like, they can't stop the shark killing, so I'll go out and kill the fucker myself. They're like, this is the greatest, most metal episode of Murder, She Wrote of all time.
She's eating a cracker, scratching her fingernails on the chalkboard, going, I'll catch you a shark?
Yeah, I'll catch him for 10. No, what is it? But I can't fucking forget.
10,000, I'll get the head.
The head, the tail, the whole damn fish. I will skin this fucker and hang him up. He ain't that little Kinder boy. But that little Kinder boy was involved in a conspiracy with Father Dowling. They're like, who wrote this one? Wow. All right, so Sid Sheinberg, who is the head of Universal, man, there is this is going around right now. From MCA, that's Universal used to be MCA's corporate.
Oh, it's not a DJ?
No, yeah, oh yeah. And I'm MCA. And I'm bruising. MCA Universal at the time. It's no longer that anymore, I think. Interoffice Memorandum. Date, October 7th, 1980 the 4th.
Okay.
Okay, so this is going back, son.
Yeah.
I am at this point 14 years old.
Okay.
And I have no idea who these people are yet, but I will. I think I met Sid Sheinberg when we were making Mallrats, if you can believe that.
Wow.
2, this memo is written to a Mr. Steven Spielberg.
Heard of him?
Yeah, I think he's a storyteller of some note. The great Steven
Made
Spielberg.
Always.
Yes, the maker of Always, Steven Spielberg.
The remaker of Always.
That's true, because it was a guy named Joe or something like that. Wow, that's deep cuts, man. Fucking, we just lost half the audience. Now they're talking about Richard Dreyfuss again. They did it in the first
we
hour.
lost them because they're looking at IMDb on their phones and crashing into the opposing traffic.
Yeah, like, to Mr. Steven Spielberg from Sid Sheinberg, the head of the studio, regarding a little movie called Back to the Future. Mm-hmm. Also copied on this memo, Bob Zemeckis.
Robert Zemeckis to us non-insiders.
And Bob Gale.
Robert Gale, I think, would be his full name.
His nomenclature. Here comes the menu. Ready?
Yeah.
The memo. Menu, not menu. Memo. Memo minder. It's called the Memo Minder. Mm-hmm. What's that from?
Risky Business.
Well fucking done, dude. Nobody talks about that movie anymore. How come they don't remake Risky Business? That's an easy remake.
Because Balky doesn't come along every generation.
That's true. You only get one of him. Although I believe that the present draft is terrific, and I marvel at the improvements that have been made from the quote-unquote Columbia version, because the project was originally set up at Columbia, I continue to believe the title leaves much to be desired. This is an actual memo from 1984 from the head of Universal to Steven Spielberg. There are a number of reasons why I found the title less than wonderful, and wonderful is in quotes, but my primary concern is that it appears to make the picture a genre.
Again, quotes?
Picture. And genre is a quote.
Oh, boy.
I think the script and hopefully the film deserves a better title. Now that I have buttered you up, I would suggest we consider the title Spaceman from Pluto.
But was that the name of the book?
Dude, you want to talk about genre title? Like Back to the Future doesn't say genre as much as Spaceman from Pluto.
But that's the book that
That's why he says it. Here, he'll go on. Ready? Underpinning these suggestions, is it underpinning or pining?
Pinning.
Underpinning these suggestions are the following thoughts. 1, Roman numeral 1. No, actually, it's Roman numeral 1, but done with a little I instead, with a dot on top of it.
It seems like an automatic Microsoft thing.
There you go. Modify the dialogue on page 35 so that Sherman calls Marty a, quote, spaceman from Pluto.
Okay.
First question, who's Sherman?
He's the...
Did they have Sherman and Peabody? And
he's
fucking
the
Back
kid
to the
with
Future?
the glasses, yeah.
But he wasn't in Back to the Future?
No, he wasn't.
At one point, maybe they were. They crossed him over. That'd be amazing. Just like Jaws meets fucking Murder, She Wrote. Peabody and Sherman meet fucking Marty McFly. And
where we're going, dogs don't wear bow ties.
I guess they've already done that crossover, and it's called Rick and Morty.
Yeah, that's
more or less. Here we go. Modify, and I love Rick and Morty. I don't want anybody going like, hey, you fucking shit on Rick and Morty. I think Rick and Morty's genius. You want to see one of the most disturbing and fucking most brilliant, funny things you'll ever see in your life? Watch the end of the episode where fucking Rick Like, you know, he's talking about an ex of his and stuff. They play this really sad fucking song, and he creates life and then creates a laser and then fucking destroys the life just to feel something and then tries to use the laser on himself, but ultimately fails. It is fucking dark.
Crazy dark.
And wonderful. Anyway, little commercial there. Number 2, modify Marty's dialogue on page 77 so that he identifies himself as a, quote, spaceman from the planet Pluto instead of Darth Vader from Vulcan.
Wow.
Could you imagine?
That's craziness.
Number 3, change the title of the book written by George and referred to on page 130 from A Match Made in Space to Spaceman from Pluto. Obviously, you get the idea. I am sure there will be those who will argue that the movie will appear to the audience to be a cheap, old-fashioned sci-fi flick. Yeah, with a name like Spaceman from Pluto, you could see that happening. And he says, old Sid says, nonsense. I think it's a kind of title that has heat, in douche quotes, originality, and projects fun. Oh, all of that was in douche quotes. Heat, originality, and projects fun. Most importantly...
Who is he quoting? Just himself?
I don't know.
Okay.
Like ads or something like that.Maybe that's the ad they wanted. A poster quote they wanted. Heat, originality, and projects fun. The worst poster quote of all time. No, actually, the worst poster quote of all time would be like, my dick hurt watching this movie.
That's a pretty bad quote.
And a little cum came out. That would be the worst part of the quote, because you think it's bad up front, but then you're like, why'd they add that secondary thought about the cum?
It was gratuitous to begin with.
I remember when things were like a thrill ride, and now they always have to mention cum to sell a movie.
When I was a kid.
Nonsense. I think it's a kind of title that has heat, originality, and projects fun. Most importantly, I think it avoids the feeling of a genre time travel movie. Fascinating.
I mean, so then, like, did he name Mars Attacks later? Is that the
Mars Attacks came from comics as like, you know?
I'm just saying, it's like it was.
Oh, you're making it.
He was going very retro with his, and my God, can you imagine? Maybe he's going to ultimately take his fortune and create a time machine and go back in time and make that memo happen.
Let's think about Steve. All right. Here's a little sketch about Steven Spielberg's reaction to that memo. Ready? So I'm Steven Spielberg, and I've just finished reading the memo.
Okay, I'll be like, hey, Steven, did you get that memo?
What the fuck is he talking about? Back to the Future's an amazing... Oh, I'm surrounded by idiots!
So I'll take that as a yes.
Spielberg. Reacting to a possible title change for Back to the Future. Could you imagine, dude? Like, you know, I guess everybody's trying to help. Like, nobody in the movie business. I know a lot of people outside the movie business are like, do people just want to see movies fail? Is that why they're bad and shit? Like, people said, why'd you make Yo-Go's? It's just terrible. I love it. And people do like it, some people don't like it. Like any movie, it has people that likes it, people that don't like it. But, you know, the idea of going into a movie hoping to make something terrible or even thinking like, yeah, let's make something bad, that doesn't happen. Everybody wants to make something good. Even old Sid Sheinberg felt he was like working on the movie's benefit. He just happened to be way fucking wrong. And thank God Steven Spielberg was like, Sid, Booby.
Well, you don't
fucking way.
You know,
I'd make Hook before I do that.
You have been blessed in your career where you don't get
I never say
noted.
that. I wake up every day. I'm like, I've been cursed in my career.
No, I'm just saying.
Every third night.
You got to express yourself the way you wanted. You didn't have to take a lot of notes.
Yeah.
And,
apparently neither did Steven Spielberg because he handily ignored all of those.
No,
notes.
you have to be able to sort between the notes that are going to be productive and help the movie.
It's like Kenny Rogers taught us as a kid, dude. Every gambler knows that the secret to surviving is knowing what to throw away and knowing what to keep.
Somewhere in the darkness. Then the guy dies.
Well, that happens later. After knowing what to keep is...
And in his final words, I found an ace that I could keep.
No, but that rhymes with sleep because he says the old man rolled over and went to sleep. Hold on.
Well, he does eventually die, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but now I'm lost in the lyrics. Hold on. Knowing what to throw. Oh, because every hand's a winner and every hand's a loser, and the best that you can hope for is to die in your sleep.
That's bleak.
Isn't it? It's an
It's
amazing
very
fucking song. The
bleak.
Gambler is a great song. A lot of people forgot because it was popular when we
And
were
they made
kids,
that
and it's
TV
country.
movie, yeah.
And they made 16 TV movies.
Yeah.
But that's a pretty fucking cool song. But do you ever notice? You probably don't notice this, but this deep cuts country stuff, we've lost everybody. Everybody's like, country music? Are you fucking high? And this is old country
You're
music.
talking about
not
the
even
chicken
new.
restaurant guy?
There's a song that's called, it's by the Oak Ridge Boys. And what is it called? Y'all Come Back Saloon. This is their chorus. Ready? She played tambourine with a silver jingle, and she must have known the words to at least 1,000,000 tunes. But the one most requested by the man she knew as cowboy was the late night benediction at Y'all Come Back Saloon. Now I'm going to transfer into the Gambler. You got to know when to hold
When
them.
to hold 'em.
Know when to fold them. Isn't it the same song, dude? Like those country songs
Yeah.
sound fucking impossibly close.
They're pretty close.
But
That
every
seems like
country song
that's
has a
lawsuit
kind
close.
of bing, 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 bing. But they never suit each other. You know why? Because country likes country, dude.
Well,
They respect
I'm sure
one
there
another.
was at least one memo with douche quotes in it about that.
From Kenny Rogers
Yes.
going, Dear Oak Ridge Boys, I heard your song.
No, but what I was saying about notes is that,
Yes.
folks like us that are more, the working
Not
class
successful?
of, well, thank you. We get notes and you have to sort between those that will help the movie and those that are known as the executive rubbing his scent glands all over it.
Yeah.
And,
Scent glands. We're on fucking serious, bitch. Just say it. Dick. He rubs his runny dick all over it. There you go.
and so
That's what Americans fought for. Fucking, people who are brave enough to go into the service. We're not. We're two chickens. We never did that. But people go in the service, fight for your ability to get on Sirius and say,
I guess true.
rub my dick on stuff.
I think of the many rockets that had to be built to put the satellites into orbit so that we could say, rub your dick on it.
It's true. A lot had to happen in not just American history, but human history for us to get to the point where the Candy Show is saying, rub your dick on it. That'll be our fucking, if our show takes off and we get a regular show, that'll be our bumper sticker. Candy, rub your dick on it.
Wow. That'll be the thing, though, that follows us around. Somebody, instead of yelling at
I
you.
hope they write that on my fucking grave. Rub your dick on it. Here lies Kevin Smith. Rub your dick on it.
And then.
Do you know how many selfies would be taken of people with their dicks on my grave? I'd live forever, even being dead. And yeah, it's a little humiliating, but whatever. Fuck, as long as you're in the conversation.
They'd wear that tombstone right down.
Okay, man. Let me look at what else is going on in the news, Andy. Can't just tell them the fucking reindeers.
Bring us out of the reindeer thing. Although I guess at one point all of their noses did glow red.
I can't do it. I'm on a goddamn PC.
Oh, here we go.
And I don't know how to control it. Like hold on. I clicked on a tab. What the fuck is Oh, we got a board full of shit up there too.
Yeah,
People calling in, asking questions. Should we take a call?
Do you like any of the questions, sir?
Yeah, here's a great question. Can we take the Eddie Long from Eddie Long Island call?
That's not Eddie Long, it's Eddie.
Eddie from Long Island. He's been holding for 12 minutes. He has an excellent fucking question. Put him on, New York. New York, put on Eddie. Eddie.
They stopped listening.
Yeah, they were like, fucking dude, we let Star Wars
You lost
play
us
for
at
20
Cabot
minutes.
Cove.
Yeah, you guys talk about comics and fucking that old lady from that show. Like, this ain't Opie and Jimmy.
Maybe it's our job. Are we supposed to click on something?
No, they said no. New York controls all that.
I always knew New York controlled everything.
I know if I press something right now, fucking we'll turn
Somebody's
Sirius
gonna
XM off
Printing
completely.
in here. With
They're like,
it.
you fat dick, you turned off the fucking transmitter. I'm like, hey,
Satellites crashing into the ocean.
you sent the satellite hurling to Earth with the press of a button, you fat dick. I'm like, normally that would upset me, but I guess you're right. In this instant, I am a fat dick. I'm sorry. Is there any way to put it back in?
That's something you do. You do own it.
Yeah.
When it's
When it's
your
my
fault.
bad.
Yeah.
I guess it is. But we can't get him
You know what I
online.
feel terrible for is Eddie in Long Island, who's sitting there knowing now.
He's like, I just want to speak to you. If only you knew how to fucking press a button, you fat dick. Rub your dick on it. His question, though, was, does Kevin think Goofy is a dog or a wolf? Half dog? Is he... I guess the question wasn't as great as I thought it was.
No, but it was sort of a Stand By Me, in celebration of
stolen
Stand
from
By
Stand
Me.
By Me.
Yeah.
What anniversary?
What is Goofy?
What anniversary?
20 years?
No. Fuck no. Clerks is 22 years old. Stand By Me is...
30 years?
Gotta be, right?
Yeah.
I mean, all those kids were kids.
Hey, you
Will
guys-
Wheaton was like, come. in that movie. He was so young. And now he's fucking Will Wheaton and shit. King of the internet.
Yeah. And
LA Kings fan.
What's his name? Romaine. Rebecca Romaine.
Stamos?
No. Jerry O'Connell. He's
wow, look at your thought process of how you got to Jerry O'Connell.
That's the only way I ever want to.
And
get
then
to
you
Jerry.
have to you hit into the Stamos bump.
Yeah.
But you're like, no, that was a decade or more back, and then went right to Jerry O'Connell. I like following your synapses.
In my mind, it was Rebecca Romaine. She turned into Mystique and then turned into Jerry O'Connell.
Well, what did she have to do with anything? She was in that thing too?
No, she dated Jerry O'Connell.
Oh, and Jerry O'Connell was in it. Oh, yeah. You're right. He was the chubby kid.
Hey, you guys want to see a dead body?
Could you imagine that kid? He was like the fat Kev Smith of the bunch. Mm-hmm. He was the heavy kid. He grows up to be with Rebecca Romaine?
I know. Anything can happen.
That proves to you, A, fat boys can win in life.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you're nice. Be nice, kids. It's the end of the day. That's the moral of the story. All right. So in honor of their anniversary.
You said A. What was B?
B. I'll work on that.
What is Goofy?
Has something to do with the pie contest. I'm not sure. What is Goofy? Oh, he's a fucking dog. He's not a wolf.
But he has a dog.
What do you mean?
Goofy's got it. Isn't Pluto?
Pluto's Mickey's dog.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And meanwhile, Goofy the whole time is like, you really should release him. Gosh, you know how we're friends and I'm not your dog? Well, why is Pluto your dog?
Why am I wearing a vest?
Mickey's like, get off my dick. I think Pluto was the dog because he didn't speak. If Pluto had a speaking voice like Goofy and walked erect, Pluto walked on all fours. Goofy was the missing link between man and dog.
There's a link.
Of course.
Goofy.
And that's why he was thought of as like one of them and not like, a dog or something like that. Okay. Why do you think they fed Goofy the same way they fed Pluto? Like if they opened up a can of food for Pluto, was Goofy like, well, I could enjoy that just as well as I'm a dog too. And people are like, you're a dog? I thought you were a wolf. Gosh.
Do you think
I'm a standing erect dog.
I'm wearing pants. Even Porky Pig don't wear pants.
I'm not one of them pantsless fucks like Donald Duck.
But do you think like Rin Tin Tin?
Gosh, you'd hate to see the size of my lipstick. Fucking huge. Gosh, I gotta sheath that monster.
Yeah, we can't get Eddie.
Take it to stick it in the Magic Kingdom.
We can't get Eddie on the phone, but we have Disney on the phone.
Yeah, Disney's like, you better fucking stop. We could go to Eddie, but now we've answered the question really. Eddie, are you there? Are you there, Eddie? What's up, sir? We make contact. Your thoughts?
I do.
Goofy, dog, or wolf?
Well, I appreciate your analysis. I agree. Pluto being the dog, and he does not speak. I don't see how Goofy's the dog. That's why I firmly believe that Goofy is actually half wolf, half dog.
Why wolf? But they have a wolf in the Disney canon. They have that big bad wolf that hangs out with the little pigs who tries to eat them. And he doesn't. They have a clear delineation between wolf and dog there, I think.
I think they do, but they also carry it over as the friendly wolf, being Goofy. But that's not the only Disney inconsistency. Here's another one.
Go ahead.
Why is Mickey Mouse dressed from the waist down while Donald Duck is dressed from the waist up?
Because ducks have little dicks.
Also, Donald can carry it off.
Because of his little dick.
Yeah.
It hides behind the feathers. But mouse dicks, as we all know, are fucking bigger than mice. You ever see a mouse with a heart on? I have
to be honest, I never have.
Now you're just bragging.
I know. I was just throwing it out there like, hey, man, I've lived a life.
I have another goofy question, though. It's like, you know how Rin Tin Tin and Lassie, there were like 12 or 15 of them because, they would only have a few years of useful life as an acting dog.
What do you mean? Dogs don't live forever?
And then, no, but they all go to heaven.
Yeah, good point.
They would replace him. Do you think Goofy was like every few years they're like, well, you're getting a little old. He's like, gosh,
what does that mean? To the glue factory with you fucking horse. Gosh, I'm not a horse. I'm either a dog or a wolf, but horse was never on the table. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Go ahead, Eddie.
Well, have a great day.
Thanks, Eddie.
Bye.
Look at that shit.
I like that dude.
Could you imagine? Andy found a friend.
I'm like, I thought it was going to be.
You got to go to Long Island.
Anything could happen.
Yeah. That's the beauty of this job. We need a fucking show because you need friends. And that's how you meet them. People calling in going, I'll be your friend, Andy. And
You've
you're like,
seen my
okay.
office.
And they hang up and you're like, I like that guy.
I do.
Welcome to I Like That Guy with Kevin Andy, where we answer your calls and Andy decides whether he likes that guy or not. Every once in a while, a girl calls in and Andy's stumped.
Right now, it's 1-0.
I like that. Well, I guess it's not a guy.
Well, I mean, you walk into a room, you're like, hey guys, it could be a girl in there too.
That's true. Or if you're Rita Moreno, you walk into a room, you're like, hey, you guys.
Well, whatever Lola wants.
She wasn't. Rita Moreno didn't play
She
Lola.
must have played Lola at some point.
That was Gwen Verdon in the movie.
Well, yeah.
But Rita Moreno, she was on Electric Company, wasn't she? Her with Morgan Freeman. Do you think she knew then that like he would be huge as the voice of everything? Andy Dufresne crawled through a river of shit to get to the Electric Company. He was a bigger fan of Zoom, but he liked the Electric Company because of Spider-Man.
Because of Spidey.
Remember Spider-Man didn't talk, he thought in word balloons?
Mm-hmm.
And he would stop fighting just to have a thought and shit.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing comics, man, back then on the Electric Company. They were fucking ahead of the time. Were you more of a Sesame Street kid or Electric Company kid?
Sesame Street.
Were you?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're a little older than me. So you didn't have as much Electric Company.
And
Electric
Zoom.
Company and Zoom. See, I had Electric Company and Zoom as alternatives to Sesame Street. You probably just had Sesame Street, and the other shit came along.
I mean,
when you were
what do you
already
think?
developed.
I'm a few years older than you, but
I'm 46. How old are you?
I'm 52.
Okay, that's 6 years, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long time.
That's forever in kid TV
In kid
land.
world, you were probably a grown ass man by the time fucking Zoom started happening. No,
No.
You're
I was
still
a
a
kid,
little boy.
Yeah, and when I got to college, I made friends with my friend Josh,
Mhm.
and I'm like, why are you so familiar? And he goes, because I was on the hockey team on that episode of Zoom.
Are you shitting
I was
me?
like, you were on Zoom?
That guy's fucking famous.
I know.
You were like, I need to be your friend. And he got you laid all throughout college and shit.
Yes, I like that guy.
They're like, oh my God, are you the guy who played the hockey kid on Zoom? It's like, yeah, it's my friend Andy. He needs a hand job.
What a wingman.
And they'd hand you a dude. It's cool, Andy. Just take it. Anything for you, Zoom. Just call him Zoom.
No.
Zoom, for those who are like, what the fuck are they talking about? Kids show when we were kids, just like Sesame Street, just like Electric Company. Now they got one on Netflix that I'm in called Storybots.
I know it.
You know Storybots?
I do. And
Ask the
Jay's in
Storybots?
the first one.
Yeah, Leno's in it as well.
Mhm.
I'm in, I think, the second one. I'm in Why or third one.
I couldn't watch for that long.
What?
I'm kidding.
It is so fucking adorable, dude.
Well, it's those
Jib Jab
Spiridelis
guys.
brothers.
Yeah, the Jib Jab. Jib Jab.
They did stuff on the Tonight Show all the time. Did
they really?
Super, super nice guys.
I worked with one of them. The dude was really nice and really fun. He's
God,
in it
they're
with me. He's one of the guys in the shirt. I think he's the director. The guy goes, okay, cut. And I get off the stools. Yeah, it was fucking fun.
What
But
kind
dude,
of
you want
stool
to
are we
talk?
talking about?
Yeah, it was fucking dirty. Storybots all about poo and poo fetish and shit like that. Get your poo fetish on with the Storybots. No, it's, the Storybots are like, little robots, like kids ask questions. How do planes fly? And, then the Storybots go figure it out in a very entertaining way.
Mm-hmm.
They take you to a bunch of places, and then there are a bunch of famous people, and then one D-list celebrity, myself, who are included in the folks they meet and stuff. And then we give the Storybots information, and then they do little cartoons. It really is like kind of next gen.
Their path is that they're not very bright, but they're very curious.
Oh, is that?
And then
Well put.
they become smarter. It's a great show for kids, yeah.
You know how Andy knows this shit? Like Andy just broke that shit down like it was fucking science. He Thomas Dolby'd the shit out of that. Science! He knows that because he worked on a kid's show when he was a young man, the young buck. Tell him what show that was, because there are a bunch of people in the audience probably watched it.
Rocket Power with
Your crickets.
It was on,
A lot of people fucking know Rocket.
Yeah, it was on Nickelodeon.
Hand just went up right over there.
Oh wow, we got a fan here in the studio.
He's wearing a t-shirt right now.
Golly.
And he's like, is she? I'll get 50 cents from that t-shirt.
No, I got no
sale.
royalties. It was Nickelodeon.
Oh, really? They owned it all?
Oh, yeah.
So you worked for, and it was a Klasky Supo?
Yes.
Joint?
The people
Jizoint?
that made Rugrats was their big one.
Right.
Eek, Real Monsters. That was their show.
And then in a distant fifth place was Rocket Power, or was it Popular?
Rocket Power's still on.
Listen to Andy getting all tight. He's like, fuck you. Candy's over. This candy's spoiled. I'm not sucking candy anymore. And Andy walks out because he's outraged by my insult to Rocket Power. Is it really still on the show? How many episodes did you do?
We did 80.
80 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's enough to keep running them and stuff?
Yeah.
What was the premise of the show for those
The premise
unfamiliar?
was 4 young friends.
Mm-hmm. Find a body. One of them's like, hey, you want to go see a body?
You guys want to see a dead body?
They're like, you can't do this. This is Stand By Me. You're calling it rocket power. You're like, yeah, but nobody will notice. Nobody watches Nickelodeon cartoons.
Well, it's three friends are into extreme sports. They live in a cul-de-sac, and a fourth kid moves in, the squid. Let's see if you recognize what he looks like. He's got a farmer's tan, black glasses, and light hair.
He's you. He's Fish. Andy was Fish when he was in school because you were a swimmer, right?
Yeah.
And McElfresh, I guess, is
fresh
kind of
fish. Like, every kid thought they were so clever.
Calling you fresh
when
fish.
I go onto a new team, they'd be like, "Oh, it's a fresh fish."
And then you fucking slap them over the bleachers, pull down their bathing shorts, and finger fuck them in the ass.
I'll kill you.
This is what fresh fish tastes like, you fucking dicks. Don't ever fuck with him. He's a good swimmer, and he's a hell of a mean finger fucker.
That never happened, sadly.
That's when they stopped calling you fresh fish to death fish.
Yes.
Don't fuck with death fish. Why? Oh!
I'll scale you.
That one swimmer with the glasses pulled my drawers down and stuck his finger in my ass.
I didn't wear the glasses while I was swimming. We had goggles.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Were they prescription goggles?
Later.
So in the beginning, sometimes you put your finger in the wrong ass. I wish I had my glasses. If I had my glasses, you'd be so finger fucked for calling me fresh fish.
I feel like putting your finger in an ass is going to always be the wrong ass.
Unless somebody asks you nicely. Like, hey, would you put your finger in there? I've never done
my
that.
My prostate's fluttering.
I read about this online. Will you do this? That didn't happen with Andy. If you fuck with Andy, you're going to get finger fucked.
Al Gore had not invented the internet when I was swimming.
All right. So when you were swimming and they called you fresh fish, Fish is his nickname. So Squid is based on you?
Well, the character design, but I was never like
it wasn't your story.
No.
You didn't hang out with him extreme.
But he was the new kid who needed to learn all the ropes.
Yeah.
And he was able to hold his own in his own way.
Were these half-hour stories or 15 minutes?
15-minuters.
50, so 2 per episode?
2 per episode.
Tupers, if you will.
Tupers.
Your proudest moment on the show?
Let's see. Well, we got a lot of
like one time we snuck a dick on the Nickelodeon.
Oh, that was the animators. We had to keep dicks out. Like
did they do that a lot?
Oh my God, they're very funny. We had a really great team.
Pickles kid and we put a dick on him.
Oh, and in Rugrats?
Pickles. Yeah.
I'm sure there's a website by this point, but in Rugrats, in one shot, the kid's holding a bottle with a nipple on it.
Right.
And in the next shot, it's a used condom lying on the ground.
Where?
And like on the show, they just would throw the shit in. On our show, the kids are in the skateboarding
Now you make me want to watch Rugrats. That's what the show is about.
Wow. The power of my words.
Discarded condoms thrown on the floor. That's such a better pitch, dude. 21st century Rugrats. It's a story about like condoms that fall on the floor. What happens when you snap it off and you throw it on the floor? The fucking cum that leaks into the rug becomes the Rugrats.
Oh, gosh. Oh, it's Nickelodeon's on the phone now.
Yeah, they're like, we're not doing that.
No, but in our
we'd rather make rocket power again than do that. And
they
like,
put in a, like during what skating competition, in the background, a spaceship comes down, a tractor beam comes out, and a whale gets picked up out of the ocean and flies away.
You did a Star Trek 4 call out?
We didn't. The animators did. And it made it all the way into the show. Nobody noticed it. The audience didn't notice it for like the first 3 airings. And then someone's like, hey, cool. Did you see the Star Trek 4 reference?
Oh my God. That's awesome.
So those guys had a lot of fun with that stuff.
Rocket Power, where can they see it?
It's on Nick. There's a new Nick channel that's sort of the retro Nick.
Nick when it was good junior or something like that?
Yes. I worked for Nick when it was cool to work for Nick.
Yeah, you were like, I was Nick when Nick was fucking cool. Nick sold out with them turtles, man. But back in Rocket Power days, we were pure 100%, man. It was authentic Nick.
Yeah, that sounds like me.
Let's look at the other news, Andy, and see what's going on in headlines.
Would love to.
We talked about the VMAs, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But I've talked about it in the way that 2 people who didn't watch it can talk about it. In other news, Anthony Weiner just blew his second chance at a second chance. Apparently, Anthony Weiner has been either sexting or something again.
Oh, wow. So, and the reporter managed to get the word Weiner and blue into the same headline.
From the New York Post, Andrew, Anthony Weiner sexted busty brunette while his son was in bed with him.
What?
Yeah.
That has all kinds of disturbing things written all over it.
I don't know. If I was him, I'd just stay away from technology for a couple decades. Just gets in trouble a lot.
Isolation tank.
Mylan, is that the name of that company? That was like, hey, the $100 EpiPen pack is now $600, fucker. Yeah. We are the devil. We are the devil. They are now, their plan, because everyone got pissed off and fuck you, straight to hell, you fucking dicks. They're now offering a generic EpiPen at half the price. What is the difference?
I think that one has their name label on it. And the pen itself, the medicine in it is very inexpensive. It's the delivery system that they have the patent on that they're charging so much for.
And the delivery system is the pen?
It's the pen itself that you jab into your leg.
Isn't that called a needle?
You jab into Uma Thurman's chest.
Yeah, and she's like, and then she tells you a joke. Catch up.
Yes.
Wait a second. Is that how the EpiPen works?
It's like it's a device that you keep as a tube and then you open it. A needle comes out, and when you put it in your leg, it automatically injects.
And that's
what the EpiPen is.
But so that sounds like a needle.
Yeah, but it has some appurtenance to it that makes it incredibly
like it's a proprietary needle.
Yes.
Is that what it is?
I guess so.
And that's why they have the balls to be like, hey, remember this thing that was $100 like fucking a few minutes ago? Now it's $600.
Yes.
You want to live, you'll spend it. And so the generic version just doesn't say Mylan on it?
I guess not. I mean, you're reading the news to me. How do I have the answer?
We'll find out. The New York Times, they'll tell us what to do. Mylan to offer a generic EpiPen at half the price. Now, this is for what condition, Andrew? Why does somebody use an EpiPen?
When you go
if you run out of an
EpiPencil? Yes. No. If you want to fill in your EpiPenciled drawing.
Yeah, you got an ink EpiPencil, you use an EpiPen.
Mm-hmm. It's, when you go into shock from usually allergic reactions. Or
when you go into shock when you see the price of a fucking EpiPen, you can't stick yourself with it.
So it went from 100 for two to 600 for two. So now it'll be half price is 300. So it's still 3 times as much.
So they still raised it. In another move to quell outrage over its price increases, the maker of the EpiPen said on Monday that it would introduce a generic version of the product with a price about half of the existing EpiPens. The company Mylan said that the generic EpiPen would be available in several weeks and be identical to the existing product, which is used to treat severe allergic reactions. But it would have a wholesale list price of $300 for a pack of 2, compared with just above $600 for the existing product.
Thus proving that labels cost $300.
Essentially. And I don't understand what makes it generic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it's the same exact thing. It's sort of like when you go to Costco and you get the Kirkland brand version of something. Mm-hmm. It's the same product. Like those Kirkland socks are the same as the Nike socks or whatever.
Are they really?
They just don't have the logo.
Like my mom. You're like, you eat the toasted oats, Tiger. It's the same as Cheerios. I'm like, no, it's not, Ma. This toasted oat is 4 times as large as a Cheerio. And I know it's not Cheerios because when friends come over and I bust them out, they remind me that I must be a food stamp kid who can't afford Cheerios. So please, let's not buy the generic.
I know. We used to get the generic, but we would be like, Dashel, they're called Fruit Tangios, but we call them Fruit Loops. So if anyone asks, you've been eating Fruit Loops.
Why are you throwing the box out and putting the cereal in a Tupperware container? Because we're ashamed, son.
Honey, they're both crispy times 2.
Okay, so the generic in this case just means they're taking the name off. The 2 measures, however, did not. Oh, wait. Under pressure, Mylan announced last week it would increase the financial assistance it provided commercially. We got to take a break in a minute. Break about to happen. To commercially insured patients to help with their out-of-pocket costs. Everyone keeps going, hey, man, insurance will pay for it and shit. Mm-hmm. It also said that it would broaden the eligibility for uninsured patients to receive free products. Those 2 measures, however, did not stem the public furor, in part because the company kept the list price the same, meaning the overall cost of the health system, mostly borne by insurers and taxpayers, would remain the same. So this is a placebo fix. It doesn't really even fucking fix anything.
I guess not. Well, it's a drug company.
Jerks, man.
Yeah.
Jerks. The introduction of the generic comes in addition to those other measures, which will remain in effect, Mylan said. Are these the only people that make this shit?
I guess they're the only ones that have the rights to make the EpiPen. And also now it turns out that the head of the company is the daughter of like a Democratic senator or representative. I'm not sure.
Okay.
And so now he's getting a lot of heat because they're supposed to.
Kid.
Well, I mean, who's beholden to the drug companies, but
politicians?
Yeah.
Look at that. Now it's right in his backyard.
It's all coming full
that's going to
circle.
be an awkward Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah.
Where he's like, come on, drop the price of the EpiPen. She's like, no, Dad, I won't do it. You can't tell me what to do anymore, Dad.
There's not this whole price.
We're going to raise it to 900 now because you said that, Dad.
The petulant
head of
CEO.
Milo. We got to take a little break, man. A little station identification, I believe. I have to pay some bills.
Mm-hmm.
But stick around, man. Even though Opie and Jimmy aren't here, Kev and Andy are. The Candy Show.
Oh, please stop with that.
Kev and Andy. I want candy. Kev and Andy Show. I want candy.
We'll never get that right.
Kev and really? Fuck. We had Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I want candy.
We had too much Star Wars.
Kevin and Andy. Kevin and Andy. Candy time. Stick around. We'll be back.
Time for us to take a break.
We will go.
This is Opie Radio. On Sirius XM.
Yes. Yes, bitch.
Somebody is listening.
Oh, my Lord. They're listening in New York, man. Welcome back to Suckin' Candy with Kevin Andy. Candy spelled with a K. We're sitting in for Opie and Jimmy this morning. They're doing much more interesting things, but we're out here in Los Angeles. This is what Los Angeles sounds like in the morning, kids. Doesn't it sound like celebrities and glamour and cinema?
Glitzy pastiche over a corrupt underbelly.
I was in an elevator. Well done. Fucking, I like that. I was in an elevator yesterday, and they had an image. I forget where I was, but it was a Ralph's over in Studio City. So they, on the elevator wall, they had a film strip to indicate like Hollywood movies and shit. Pretty soon, kids are going to be like, "What is that?" Because they don't use film anymore.
Well, you already can't say you sound like a broken record. They're like, you mean like a CD with a scratch in it?
That's right. I said that to make it
the
all the
vinyl's
time.
coming back.
You sound like a broken record. She's like, I don't know what the fuck that is. Yeah, vinyl is back, dude. So that works, but that one don't.
No.
Beacon Rewind probably won't work in a little while either.
But how do you put on the side of an elevator a digital distribution of a 4K film?
Yeah, that's true. What's going to happen? So it'll all be artifice. It'll always be a lie from now on. Like when they show you a film strip. It's true. Good point. You know what's a lie? You know what? Fucking never mind Hollywood, dude. Let's talk about East Coast and shit because everyone's still sleeping out here. But motherfuckers are going to work out there, heading to work and need a little inspiration for their day. You want to hear a real life comic book story? We were talking about comic books at the beginning of the show and stuff, superheroes and whatnot. Here's a real fucking superhero out of Secaucus, bitch.
Oh.
Secaucus, New Jersey, this happened.
Oh.
A New Jersey transit police officer, is being hailed as a hero. H-E-R-O, not hero, H-I-R-O.
Okay.
Like a hero, like a lead character in a Japanese.
Or not like a sandwich, which also has the same hero.
Hero ain't nothing but a sandwich. I remember that movie. After rescuing a man who was lying on the train tracks in Secaucus earlier. CBS New York reports. According to authorities, New Jersey transit officer Victor Ortiz, there's your hero, climbed down from the platform at the terminal in Secaucus after reports of a man lying in the tracks on Friday, August 26th. CBS 2's Hazel Sanchez reported that Ortiz followed the man he saw exiting the train on the platform as the man ran and jumped on the tracks. Officials say the man struggled against Ortiz's attempts to help him, but was eventually pulled out of danger. This is where it's going to get metal in a second.
Okay.
This is all metal, but wait till he talks. There's words, and that's what...
Okay.
Ortiz said that he had no time to think about himself when he struggled to pull the man off the tracks. And this is Ortiz talking. He goes, at that point, he's like, I just want to die. I just want to die. The guy on the tracks.
I thought he was going to be like, I just wanted the Opie show and
Opie and Jimmy left and Candy sucked. And Ortiz is like, they'll be back on Thursday. At this point, he's like, I just want to die. I just want to die. Ortiz explained. He pretty much went down on his knees and down on his arms. At that point, this is where it gets fucking, get ready, dude. You're going to roll a tear. Shit gets fucking awesome. At that point, I says to him, you're not going to die. you're not going to die.
Oh, man.
Only way that gets better is if he says today. You're not going to die today. As a writer, I'm correcting this guy. He's like, I'm a fucking hero writer. Did you save anybody? No. So he's right. He can use whatever. But if I was writing the scene, he'd be like, you're not going to die today. I wouldn't have him say it twice.
Oh, you're going to invite him to the premiere, and everybody's going to be, he's like, I didn't say today.
Yeah.
That's not,
he's like, this is horse shit. This is lies. They didn't have to dress up what I did. It was heroic enough. Leave a word out, you fat dick. That was Hero Cop Victor Ortiz giving his review of Kevin Smith's film about his life. Video of the incident shows Ortiz pulling the man from danger seconds before an oncoming train pulls into the station.
Good Lord.
Come on, dude. That's like Daredevil. That's like fucking Spider-Man and shit like that.
Well, he didn't stop the train.
No, but he saved a life.
I know. I'm saying that he did the.
You don't need to be Spider-Man to stop the train. You just have to pull that little cord.
But he's always stopping the train.
Spider-Man?
Yeah, isn't he always?
Yeah, and pissing off commuters. Like, what the fuck? I'm supposed to get to Queens, you piece of shit. You fat dick. He's like, I'm clearly not a fat dick. I'm in a very thin leotard. This is like, I love comic books. I love superhero shit and whatnot. Going next week to direct an episode of The Flash, my second episode. Exciting. Heading up to Vancouver to do that. Then heading up to Vancouver again in October to direct an episode of Supergirl.
That is also very exciting.
I love superheroes. This isn't a way of just bragging and pulling out my I direct superheroes on TV, dick. This is just my way of saying that I love stories like that. And I remember I was on the set of The Flash when I saw Grant Gustin in his outfit for the first time.
Right.
I saw him in the Flash suit. It wasn't the first day. It was like 3 days into the shoot. I was like, oh my God. Like, it'd be ridiculous for me to be like, my dick got hard because I'm a 46-year-old man. But what happened was my pussy got wet. It was when I fucking saw him in the suit. I was all moist. I was like, give me a towel. There's too much. I'm too wet. You're going to slip out, I says. And everyone walked away. They were like, this is awkward.
And he's like, he broke the spell when he's like, what's this? You're not going to die today. Why would you say that? I don't think that's the real.
Grant Gustin goes, I was like, this is awesome, dude. That suit looks amazing. I said, why don't people do this in the real world? Put on fucking costumes and fight crime. He's like, they do. They're called police. And I was like, you're right. Good point. They just don't run as fast as you, Flash.
That's true.
And he's like, I'm an actor. You know this. I can't really run fast. He's an excellent fucking actor, dude. Let me tell you. That boy's gonna win. He's gonna win 10 one day. He's gonna hoist one of them fucking trophies. And probably not even, I'm not saying an Emmy. I think he's gonna win an Oscar. He's a really good actor. I watched his process. His process is gonna sound weird, but maybe not. If you watch the show, he's fucking, like, that show rests on his shoulders. He's fucking fantastic in it. He has the same process as Alan Rickman and Johnny Depp. Two people I worked with. Like, two great actors I worked with. Like, he's that good.
He carries that charisma and intensity.
And like, he's that authentic in performance. Like,
if you can pull a tear out of me.
Yeah.
On that show, that means something.
Yeah, because Andy's bone dry. He hasn't cried since he was pulled out of his mother's womb and they smacked him and he cried and then he was like, never again.
No, I didn't even cry then. I was like, please, never hit me.
You were like, ow. Mother, why did that happen? Andy's a creature of logic, so right away. He's like, he doesn't want to get whiny about it. He's like, I just need to understand the process.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you would like me to breathe. Okay.
Oh, you could have just asked me. Don't need to brutalize me. Isn't that weird? They don't do that anymore,
no.
Right? But they used to, right?
A slight rubbing of the skin is all it takes for them to start the crying.
But they used to slap the baby.
No, I think only in extreme circumstances.
Make America great again. Bring back baby punching when they're born. Is this kid alive? Smack. It is now. Yeah. Welcome to the world, fucker. It hurts to live. Like, would you put the baby in the basket? No, I'm giving him some fucking truth. Man up.
The fist of life.
Ortiz, man. Victor Ortiz, goddamn hero, dude.
Yeah.
New Jersey Transit could not be more proud of Victor Ortiz and of the New Jersey Transit Police Department, and we hope this serves as a stark reminder of what these men and women do every single damn day. I added the damn.
It reminds me of Tony Stark, the hero.
What do you mean? Yeah,
it's
you're right.
It's a stark reminder.
It is. It's truly. This guy's like Iron Man. He didn't even have the suit. Fuck him. He's better. Fuck Iron Man. He's better than Iron Man. Iron Man would be in a suit on the tracks, and nobody would give a shit because they're like, well, fucking he won't get hurt. He'll pulsar ray that shit.
Right.
This man has no iron suit, Andrew.
Or a penthouse to fly home to.
That's right. He's got no pepper pots. Although he didn't have pepper pots in the latest Captain America either. So I don't want too soon to talk about it. But this guy's better than fucking Tony Stark, man. I'd watch a movie about him. I'd watch a movie about this whole incident. Everything that happened in the day leading up to that. Remember that one episode of fucking, what was it? Vincent D'Onofrio was a guy that was hit by like a train or a bus and it was on him. I think it was Homicide. I don't think, maybe it was not Homicide. Fuck, but it was this great show. It's an hour long, and he was like trapped pinned under a train. But the moment they moved the train, he was going to die. So like he was alive as long as they kept him pinned.
Yeah, they used that trope in Signs.
Yeah, when she was alive until she was like, swing away, Meryl. And Meryl was like, so I spent the rest of my life fucking others in threesomes and foursomes, based on the advice of my brother's dying wife.
Loud silk shirts and
she
bell
said,
bottoms.
swing away. So in that moment in Signs, when he's like, swing away, Meryl, instead of getting the bat, Meryl, in my version, just starts sucking and fucking, and the alien gets confused and leaves.
Grows a mullet.
And that's how they fucking defeat him. He's like, I'm not into key party scenes. And he takes off. I don't have a safe word. You guys are gross and immoral. And he takes off.
And your daughter leaves too many glasses of water around.
Yeah, one glass should be sufficient, you little moppet brat. They take off his face. Signs by Kevin Smith. We're 7:16 right now here on the West Coast, which means it's 10:16 back there. Yeah,
yes,
hours?
your math still, sir.
Thank
your
you.
simple arithmetic.
I can do it with the best of them.
Impeccable.
Well, that's because I carry around a 4-foot abacus with me at all time, and I move beads to count. We thought we were going to be going till 8 our time, 11 your time,
Yeah,
but
so
apparently
we've been stretching.
Yeah, truly. We thought we had a lot of time to kill, but we actually have to stop at 7:30.
Yes.
For reasons beyond our control.
And if you listen, you can hear an audible cheer coming from the New York area.
And there was much rejoicing. Yay! Bring back Opie and Jimmy. And then Kylo Ren's like, I'd much prefer to watch Opie and Jimmy. You don't watch it, you listen, you dick. I'll choke you with my force shit. I'll let a laser blast hover in midair, and then I'll let it hit you. People are like, stop doing Kylo Ren. We can't hear you.
Help me complete. What is he? Help me complete who I am.
He goes, to Han Solo.
Yeah.
He's, I knew that was coming too, dude. The moment he started talking like that, where he's like, there's just one thing I got to do and shit. You're like, oh, don't do it. Don't you do it, you piece of shit. Don't you? No! He did it. I hate you, Kylo Ren. I liked him up to that point.
Listen to Sirius XM was what he was originally going to say.
Yeah.
And then he was like, kill Han Solo.
Might as well just kill Han Solo. What were we talking about before we jumped into?
You were saying that we were leaving a little earlier.
That's right. 7:30. They're booting us out, man. But when we come back on Wednesday, we're doing it again on Wednesday morning. Then we'll be going 3 long, hard hours.
Good Lord.
Maybe we can even get earlier. Start at 4 a.m. in the morning out here, because that would be 7 a.m. back there.
Mm-hmm.
I would love this job as a regular basis. I'm just, anyone listening at Sirius XM, fucking give me an Andy show. Mm-hmm. Heavens. There are a lot of people with shows on Sirius XM.
I can hear laughter bursting out in Sirius XM.
Go back to podcast, you fucking free talker. That's what they call me around here. Fucking free talker. Fucking communist giving away your free talk in the podcast. Talks to be paid for. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Could you imagine if this was our gig? They wouldn't have to pay us a lot. In fact, they wouldn't have to pay me.
No, wait.
Anything.
Don't.
Andy's like, negotiate for yourself.
Yeah.
I fucking wake up early anyway.
Yeah, you do. Me too.
I'm always up smoking weed. If I can make that happen, like if I could smoke weed in this room, oh my God, I would never leave. I'd be like Howard Hughes, walking around tissue boxes, pissing in jars and shit. And with the addition of smoking weed.
It'd be like that Money
Monster. If he would have smoked
movie.
weed, he would, yeah, it would be exactly like that. I'd be like George Clooney. So yeah, we're going to have to get out of here in about 10 minutes. But until then, man, let's fill your life with a little joy. Let's see if there's any other news we can give them. You got anything you want to tell them? I see you brought 3 books with you.
I did. I thought we were going to do a little edumacating while we were here.
Andy and I do a podcast called Edumacation at smodcast.com. So if you like this shit, go listen to that shit. Andy makes me smart every week. Andy's the smartest guy I know. So, Andy would tell me things, cocktail party science and shit like that. And I'd pass it off in the real world as my own. People be like, you're smart. I'm like, yeah, I sure am. But it all came from Andy. So one day I was like, let's do a podcast about it. It's called Edumacation.
Well, that is a fact. And we'll just do one fact on today's show, sir.
Okay.
And this, because it's a drive time show, I picked some driving facts.
Oh, look at that. It's appropriate. He's thinking. He's the thinker, this McElfresh.
So,
Go fresh fish.
We've been talking about New York and their transit system, but can you guess what the most crash-prone city is? What city has the drivers that are most likely to crash?
In America?
In America.
Indianapolis.
No.
Because that 500 race.
The track does not count. Oh. And all they have to do is turn left.
Detroit?
No.
They make cars, that's why. Or they used to. That's why I brought that up. Jersey. All those jug handles.
No, but you're going in the right direction.
Nyack?
No, you were going south at this point.
Florida.
No, you've gone too far.
Georgia?
No, we're talking cities, remember?
Kentucky.
No.
The city of Kentucky.
No, it is the nation's capital, sir, Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C. has the most car accidents?
The average Washington, D.C. driver is involved in a crash once every 4.8 years.
Wow. What's that about?
Just, put it on your calendar and don't go driving that day is my advice.
What if you're from Washington State and not Washington, D.C.?
You probably don't crash as much.
There's a good reason to move to Seattle right now, kids.
Yes, exactly.
You like rain? You don't want to crash?
So the national average is once every 10 years. So that's more than twice as frequent.
It feels like it's been, I'll knock wood, but it feels like it's been a minute since I've gotten in a fender bender. One time I got hit, man. I was in New York with fucking Vinnie Pereira. We went to see a movie up at the Angelica Film Center. And we were leaving, there was a stop sign on this one side street heading to Broome to get to the Holland Tunnel and get out. And as we crossed this one street, man, motherfucker just taxi cab, bam, just T-boned the fucking car on the driver's side, threw me into Vinny's lap practically on the passenger side.
That was your excuse when they found you on his lap?
Yeah, I was like, we got a car accident, so I better suck your dick. No. So I went and the taxi cab driver, I was like, hey, and he was like, sorry. And then he fucking took off because in New York.
Yeah. That's like nothing. That's a
but we were two boys from Jersey. We were like, we've been through a dramatic event. I went to a therapist for like 2 years. No, that didn't happen. But it was fucked up. I got in a car accident and we left. We just drove after that. Like the car was dented in, but could still drive.
One of my favorite driving stories with you is the first time we worked together was in Syracuse, New York.
Upstate New York.
Yeah, you had been on the Tonight Show and they wanted us to do some bits together. So we did roadside attractions.
That was a bunch of bits. How many did we do?
We did close to 40, I think.
40 bits as a correspondent on the Tonight Show.
Yeah, that was fun work, let me tell you.
That's where me and Andy met.
But we never, you get back and everyone's like, you dick, you get to travel all over the world. And I'm like, yeah, we went to see the world's second largest ball of twine.
Right. And the world's littlest church and things like that.
Well, we pull up it was in Mohawk.
Okay.
And we were going to do our Mohawk joke where Kevin sees the sign for Mohawk and goes, Mohawk, And then we cut to him wearing a mohawk. Right. And then we brought mohawks for everybody that we could put on. So we pull up into this gas station and Kevin sits in front of the pump. And I was like, yeah, well, we're doing great so far, Kev. Everything's great. And he's just sitting there. And I was like, what are you doing? He goes, we're getting gas. And I was like, yeah, but you got to get out of the car. And he goes, oh God, I'm from New Jersey. They don't let us pump our own gas.
Yeah.
Do they still do that? Or
it's still like Jersey's now, I think, the only state in America where it's against the law to pump your own gas. Somebody has to pump your gas for you.
It's like a courtesy that you wouldn't expect in the Garden State.
It was a fucking culture shock when I got to Los Angeles, man. I just sat there in front of fucking gas pumps for like hours before people would roll out and be like, what's up? And I'm like, can I get some gas? Like, hey, buddy, you got to pump your own gas in Malibu. And I was like, oh, I didn't know. I'm from New Jersey.
Yes. A lot of surfers working as attendants up there in Malibu.
Hey, man, sometimes I catch some cool waves. Sometimes I just sit here selling gas, hurling gas, man.
You want some gum or something?
Yeah, you want some gum from inside? Say gum? What, would you think I said cum? Hey, man, this is West Coast. We don't make cum jokes, man. I've been out here for a long time. It's true. You make a cum joke out here, people are like, oh, what the fuck?
Kevin, you make a cum joke anywhere, and people are like, what the fuck? It has
not in my house. In my house, people are like, oh, yes, well observed, father.
As I've seen it, your wife has probably sprained her eye 600 times rolling it.
Rolling them. But that's why I'm glad I got the kid, because the kid, she's got better sense of humor.
Yeah.
So I can make more jokes with her. The kid
raised her right.
Raised her damn right. Kid was raised on movies. Now she's in a movie. Yoga Hosers.
Yes.
You can see it tomorrow night at participating theaters for a Fathom Events thing, where I do a speech beforehand. There's like a big intro to the movie. Or it comes out on September 2nd, just in like 200 screens somewhere near you. Maybe not. You might have to drive to see it and stuff.
Yeah, but it's worth the drive.
It's fun shit. I'm
just for the complaining on the way home.
Yeah. So be like, that fat dick, he fucking lied. He said it was entertaining. I'm glad his daughter's working, but fuck him. I don't have to pay for this shit. Those are reviews on the way home. Mm-hmm. Or you might be like, oh shit, man, I was like Clueless meets fucking Critters.
You know what's Clueless is at Sundance?
Yeah.
We're walking out of the screening. It went great. The audience loved it. But people kept saying, I thought Johnny Depp was in that movie. Like,
Yeah, you missed him. He was in makeup. That movie's got a big cast, man. It's a fun flick. It's if you liked 80s horror movies from cable TV, if you like the full moon movies from when you've rented them back in the day from video
If you
stores,
liked USA Up All Night with Gilbert Gottfried.
if you like Strange Brew with Bob and Doug McKenzie,
Oh, yeah.
if you like movies that nobody else gives a fuck about, Yoga Hosers is for you. Go see it this week. What else can we talk about before we get out of here? 5 more minutes left.
Well, we have,
We should answer the question. Is Father Karras's mother truly in hell?
well, I've already answered the question.
I don't find your answer sufficient.
How else can I support it, sir? I told
Your
you.
point is the devil would lie.
The devil,
For those that just tuned in, like, what the fuck are you babbling about? At
he's the great deceiver.
Yeah, says you. At
He's
the
a pretty
beginning of the
good
show,
deceiver.
who says? At the beginning of the show, we were talking about that moment in The Exorcist where Father Karras, the devil through Regan, the little girl, says to Father Karras, Regan, your mother's in here with us, Karras. Would you like us to give her a message for you? And then later on, he sees his mom sitting on the bed, and she's like, "Damn me," and she speaks to him in Italian.
Damn it.
So my point was, I woke up this morning going like, what the fuck? Is that real or not? My question is, was the devil lying or is the devil just being a dick? Is his mother truly in hell or was the devil just lying to be the devil?
I think he was, he is what he is. It's his nature. To
I
lie.
am what I am. The devil is Popeye.
Your mom is in here. I'm evil to the finish.
'Cause I eat me spinach. I've got your old mom in here. Doot, doot. They're like, can we go another way? And Peter Blatty's like, no, this is how I see the greatest evil in the
You're
world.
going to make me use tubular bells. That's in the movie.
What is, so wait, you think devil lies?
Yeah, of course. Be
a little more, what would you, all right.
His mind
that's what
games.
you think,
He's playing
but what
the
do you,
mind games.
That's what you think, but what do you want? Like, be honest. You want his mom to be in hell.
I don't want to. She seems nice.
You fucking met her for half a line. She was talking in Italian. You don't speak Italian. You don't even know what she was talking about. She might have been like, I hate fresh fish. Go fuck himself. And you're like, she's nice. She should live.
I know a little Italian.
And what'd she say?
His name is, it's for the Olympics. They made us learn Italian and I can, she's just talking to him. She's, she's saying everything's fine. He's worried about her and she's like, don't worry.
That's not what she's saying.
Pretty much.
No way. I believe she's saying like, Damien, get me out of hell. You put me here, you piece of shit. Like, if you're the devil and you were making that happen, you do mean shit. If it was really his mom in hell.
She doesn't talk to him in Italian then. She talks later on. No, when she's alive still.
Oh.
In the hospital.
I think she also says some Italian shit when he sees her sitting on the bed. Like she calls him Damien, says some stuff. And then I just, come on, dude, it'd be metal as fuck. That's what the fucking next, they're doing The Exorcist as a TV show now. That's the world we live in. There was a time where like, the most startling motion picture in history. And they re-released it. It was the only time you could fucking see it, man.
That's
That's
a fun thing to collect. They have the original Exorcist barf bags.
Really? That they gave out with the movie?
Yeah.
That's available? You can find that on eBay?
I think you'll find one on eBay.
Now it's going to be on TV. Now it's going to be like, your mother sucks cocks in hell, Karras. Coming up, more The Exorcist after this commercial from Pine Sol.
And now Blatty's in hell.
Nobody's going to be sucking cocks in hell in the TV version.
You never know. It could,
they're like, it will be implied.
Yes.
There'll be a lot of cocksucking in hell implied, but we can't say it because we're network.
Your mother goes down on certain people in hell.
No, we'll say like your mom has seen the junk of others inappropriately in the nether regions. Like, this sucks.
Yes,
sucking cock in hell was the most metal thing ever said in a movie. Oh, good Lord. In any event, that's all the time we got. We're going to have to end on that thought. Take that into the rest of your day. You figure it out. Let us know on our Twitter accounts because you can listen to this show. If you're listening to it now, you've listened. They're rerunning the show later on. Mm-hmm. And also you can listen to it on on demand on the website and stuff when you want to.
Yeah, this thing is forever, sadly.
Yeah, fucking this is it. It's in stone right now. But you can always hit us back on our Twitter. I'm at that Kevin Smith and Andy's at Education Andy. And let us know, man. What do you think? Father Karras' mom in hell or not?
Yeah.
And part B question is, your mother sucks cocks in hell, one of the most metal things ever said in a movie.
Well, that question answers itself.
And a sub question to that question, could Disney pull it off in a movie today? That line.
Gosh, your mother.
Who said that? The dog? I thought it was a wolf.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Your half dog sucks cocks. Yeah.
This has been the Candy Show with Kevin and Andy. Sucking candy with Kevin and Andy, man. Come back on Wednesday. We'll be back doing the same thing on Wednesday. Somebody else is doing it tomorrow and stuff, but we'll be back on Wednesday to do more of this.
Fun.
If you like this, fucking tell Sirius XM to give us a show.
I know. I'd love to do this.
We need the money.
I'd actually prepare for this next one. If
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'd write a few things down if I was getting paid. There it is, man. Thanks for sucking candy with Kevin and Andy. We'll see you on Wednesday. Bye.
Bye.